Hey guys, it's girl Elyse, aka WarMama, and I am all elite.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Phillips, and I'm all elite, just like these guys.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Vixen Omega, and I am all elite, baby.
Hi everybody, I'm Kim Green, and I'm all elite.
Yes, everybody. Hey, how's it going? My name is Gary Joe, and I am the proud founder of the Honor the Elite Facebook page, podcast, Twitch, YouTube channel, and TikTok. Wow, that's a lot to digest. But this is not about me today. This is about the very first ever women's roundtable with these four remarkable AEW gearheads. And I'm very excited for everybody to hear their stories, what made them an AEW fan, and then just to get to know each other. And us as AEW faithfuls, 24,000 plus followers, including the likes right around 33,700 as of today. If anybody does have questions for these four, please just send a comment and then we'll be happy to answer. I am not going to be a part of this. I'm just going to be heading out backstage. People don't need to hear my mouth anyway. So, with that said, we already got there we go. We got one comment already from Matt Sweeten.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Enjoy the show, and until before this broadcast ends, I will hop back on, and we'll go from there. All right.
welcome.
Hey!
Exciting.
So, I guess we each want to tell like how we got into wrestling, kind of.
Sure.
Okay.
You go first.
Okay, so I grew up watching like the old wrestling, Hulk, Macho Man, and then I kind of got away from it, and my husband and I got together and we started watching it again, and AEW came about, and we immediately fell in love. So anytime I'm near Kansas City, so anytime they come to Independence, Missouri, and so anytime they're around, we go to shows. They've had a charity event that we went to. Oh, it's just that amazing. I love AEW, and so that's my story.
Okay, who's next? Who want to go next?
I'll
Let Kim go.
since we're kind of like
Okay.
in this formation. So I definitely grew up with wrestling. My dad and my brother and my mom would have WWE on, and once I got old enough to kind of understand what was happening at all, it really caught my attention. And then I did kind of fall out of being interested with it for a few years, as a lot of people did around that time. But once I started getting back into wrestling, was just shortly before I met my fiance, and he also has always been a fan of wrestling, and he was starting to get back into it around that same time. And that was also when AEW was first up and running, so it was a perfect time to jump on the train of something that was new and see where it went from there. And of course, it's just amazing. As everyone is aware of, AEW has blown wrestling standards out of the water, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. I got into wrestling in 2000 or 2001 when it was WWF with The Rock and Stone Cold, and I was there for all of that. And then I watched for years and years and years and years. I got bored of it around 2015, but I still kept watching. I met Roman Reigns in 2017 at the SummerSlam in Barclays Center. I still was watching it a little bit, but I wasn't as interested. I was losing interest real fast. And the last event I watched was WrestleMania in 2019. That was the last wrestling event I watched. And then I heard about AEW, and I saw Double or Nothing, and then I saw the premiere, and I was hooked after that.
Oh, me? I
Okay.
didn't know if there was more, and I didn't want to interrupt because I don't want to.
No, I'm done. Mine's just short.
So, obviously, I've always been a diehard wrestling fan, but like, I had been watching it since I was like a little kid, like originally with like my brother when it was like WWF, like Hogan, Undertaker, Yokozuna, and I was like, yeah, this is badass, you know. And then, you know, I'd like watch it like sporadically, and then I like fell off until WCW, and I was a WCW girl, and I was like, yes, this is awesome, and I would watch it religiously, and it was just great. And then that's when I like fell in love with Sting, and he's been like my favorite wrestler for like 25 plus years, whatever. Like, so then when, you know, WCW you know, went under, and you know, it just kind of broke my heart, and then I lost interest in all wrestling, and I was like, damn, that's, you know, that sucks. And it just like, you know, it was like sad. And then AEW like came around, and I was like, kind of like, wow, it was like a breath of fresh air, you know. And you know, it just kind of revamped my love of wrestling again. And then, you know, it just, you know, like, obviously, I don't even tell you guys, it like reignited my passion, and I was like, this is amazing. And it just like, it gave you like that new butterfly feeling again. You're like, oh, I can't wait to watch wrestling. And that's pretty much like how it all started, and it's just been awesome ever since, you know. Hi, Terry. But you know, so that's really where it started, and it hasn't stopped since. And I'm truly thankful for AEW, and I'm so glad it exists.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree completely. And for me, there's nothing like their live shows. It's like their live shows are just, I've been to the other promotions live shows, and it's just not the same. It's not the same. It's just, it's like, ugh. But they're so interactive. Justin Roberts, oh God, I love him.
He's the best.
Oh my
Man,
God,
can he carry that note? I'd probably start coughing live, like, I'm like, God bless you, man.
When he does Kenny Omega, North Carolina, that is like my favorite.
Yes.
Speaking of Kenny
He
Omega,
loves pronouncing Kenny Omega and John Moxley's name because he just holds the note.
Man, he just carries on. I'm like, God
Okay,
bless you.
keep going. Is he done yet? He sounds like the dude that says, what is it? The guy from boxing?
Yeah.
Let's get ready to rumble. There you go.
Yeah.
He sounds like
The other guy that used to do like WCW. Oh my God, what was his name? We all know his name, and it's like right there at the tip of my tongue. I can't. It's like, you know what I mean? He used to do it in WCW, and he's like, let's get ready to rumble. I'm like, God, he can keep going. Like I said, I would probably choke it at the first like rumble, and like it's like I wouldn't be able to do it. But,
so I did say we have a question here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jonathan
Omega,
is asking who we all want to see. For me, it's Ospreay. Hands down, it's Ospreay.
It needs to be
around.
I know their matches are just explosive. So,
insane.
But
I
honestly,
can't get enough.
Kenny could wrestle like anybody and make it good. He for me is just, he's fire all the time.
Unbelievable. And Ospreay too, like the energy between the two of them. And like, you know, I was saying this, like, I mean, I've talked about this with Gary multiple times, but I've also talked about it like on, you know, on the stream. Like obviously in America, they have to tone it down a bit, but when they're in Japan, it's like no holds barred. They're like, you know, you can like hear like the smashing. You're like, damn, but it's like, still, it's like, I can't get enough, but it's like the energy between the two of them, like they vibe so well. So it's just like, you just don't get bored. Like when I first saw Wrestle Kingdom, the two of them, I'm like, it's like, I think it's like 45 or 47 minutes long. And I was like, I don't want this to end. Yeah, it was like amazing. I did not want it to end. So when I knew they were going to wrestle again in AEW, I'm like, yes. So I really feel like they need to have like the trilogy match and All In. Like, you know, I think it would be great. And I hope Kenny Omega wins.
Especially now that Ospreay changed the name of the title.
I know, to the UK.
He changed the name of the IWGP title from IEW. He changed it from IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion to IWGP United Kingdom Champion.
Yeah.
Where was I? Was I asleep?
He just did this like last night, I think.
Yeah,
he really just did it.
was definitely asleep.
Yeah.
Let's
So
see here.
I see Nathan is asking, I think he means DMD or Bunny. And
It's gonna be Brit.
it's gotta be Brit.
DMD.
Nothing
So
against Bunny. I like Bunny a lot, but it's gonna be Brit. hands
I
down.
get Bunny is supposed to be like crazy and over the top and everything, and I don't know what it is, but there's something about her that just comes off extremely bland to me. And it's the same way with Penelope Ford, unfortunately.
But
Where I'm just like, they're okay workers. I'm not
I-
knocking their
that's why
research,
they need
but
tag team. If you put the two of them together,
Thank
They-
you.
tag
they-
team titles
they
for the
would
women.
Thank
They
you,
would
Rhonda.
definitely
I've been
work
saying
better.
this forever. I go,
Yes.
this is where the
Yeah.
conversation, I'm so glad you brought it up. I cannot tell you how many times I've said this to Gary. I'm like, there would be a great tag team, and this is where they need to have a tournament to build the tag team division
Yes.
for the women.
There's
Yes.
so many great women, and they're just not being utilized. And if
No.
you throw in some tag teams,
Yeah,
I mean,
this would be
it's
the
going to
best way
up
to
the
utilize
game
them.
for the women. Yes.
Absolutely.
I feel like if they do the tag team division, definitely Penelope Ford and Bunny, they
They
would definitely
vibe so
make a
good
great
together.
They will make a better tag team than they are single.
Singles.
Anna
Yeah.
Jay and Ty as a
Yeah,
tag team.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
justice
think
for
it'd be
the
great.
women.
Especially, it would be
Yes.
great to see the tournament, because then you can see so many different styles of women coming together.
yes,
Yes.
And, and it'd be more showcasing of the women to like compete.
like they drew and put together MJF and Adam Cole. I mean, why not do something? I mean,
It was so spicy. I loved it. It was just like,
that in
okay.
itself is hilarious.
I
'cause
don't hate it. Like,
they
yeah,
have
Ronnie.
such a cool. They work
I
so
loved
well
it.
together. I didn't think it was going to
loved
be
it.
this great, and it is.
exactly.
Honestly, how could it not be? First of all, Adam Cole's precious, and
Yes.
obviously
Yes.
MJF is our scumbag.
You see Adam Cole's right here above. But so my husband actually asked, who turns on who first, Adam Cole or MJF?
Adam Cole is going to turn on MJF because he opened him up finally, made him vulnerable, and then he's going to stab in the back, which is why it's like pure poetry. It's like, oh, that sucks because you've been an asshole for so long. And it's like you've been stabbing people in the back. So Adam Cole comes in and he's like, no, it's okay. You can trust me. It's okay to be vulnerable. Boom. And it's like, that's what you get. That's what you get.
Yeah,
I feel like Adam is gonna blindside MJF more than we're thinking, probably just for the simple fact that we've already seen the workings in MJF's brain of him wanting to turn and just not doing it yet behind Adam's back. And I feel like Adam's gonna turn around and get MJF before he realizes it.
I agree with Jamie, because you know what? It's gonna be the obviously the main event. It's when Adam Cole loses the match. Eventually, I feel like down the road, absolutely, he's going to win the world title. But I feel like when he loses the match, he's going to be pissed. And he's going to be like, you know what? Boom! You know what I mean? And then he's going to be like, what? You know?
And then here comes the Kingdom and Roderick.
Here comes the
boom. They're gonna.
And it's gonna be another faction, which is gonna be, like I said, the whole thing is pure poetry. Because, like, first of all, Adam Cole is like one of the most precious men I've ever met too. I was like, put that man in a bubble because he's so precious. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, that's what makes it so poetic, because MJF is just, he's, like you said, he's always had his guard up. Everybody in his mind is always going to screw him up. But Adam Cole came in, softened him up. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm just like, you're right. It is okay. And then Adam Cole's basically like, that's your karma. I'm your karma.
Would it be too surprising if MJF does it? Because he's done it to plenty of people before. I can see either one of them do it, to be honest.
I think it's going to be Adam Cole.
But the more obvious choice would be MJF.
Yeah.
Because
but that's what people expect. That's why it'd be so much better if it's Adam Cole.
Could it be a double turn though? Like MJF has something in the contract that kind of,
I was thinking of that.
Pokes the beast, like pokes Adam Cole, and then Adam Cole then still turns on him too. So it's kind of like a double turn, like they both.
That popped up in my brain literally earlier. I was thinking like, wait, Adam Cole didn't really read the contract that he signed. What if the contract is for him to lay down, like how MJF did with Sammy Guevara? So he's gonna be like, why would you do this to me? And then the match will happen, and then hopefully we'll get an awesome match out of it. And we'll see what
Well, I
happens.
get what you're saying. Like
Sorry,
that would make
Kim.
sense.
What were you
But I
gonna
feel like
say?
that's the same old song and dance that they've always been doing. So it would be nice for like a change up. You know what I mean?
I'm kind of hoping somehow, I know it's probably a long shot, but I'm hoping that with them turning on each other, maybe this changes something in MJF's brain chemistry where he starts to turn a little softer. I'm not saying full baby face or anything right away because I know he's like at the top of the heels right now, but what if he, looking back after the match and he's won the title and still has it and everything, what if he starts contemplating the weight of, well, do I want to keep chasing to keep this gold, or do I need to start making those relationships and those friendships that I've never really had before? That's what I hope for. I know it's a long shot, but that would be a really
I like that's a really good point. You know what I mean?
I mean, he fully says he's still a scumbag, but he's our scumbag.
He is our scumbag.
I love that.
Right.
And you know what the thing is? We all love to hate him.
He's
You can't fully hate him, you know?
He's very like tweener. He's very tweener right now. He's basically in the middle of a heel and a baby face. And we don't know. We've always seen him full blown heel. It'll be weird to ever see a MJF face MJF. I feel.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, "Are you okay?
Well, he
Did your
tried that when he was with
switch?
Cody.
You was the face." It's weird.
Well, do you remember he tried that when he was with Cody and it just didn't fit? Like everyone was like, "No, I don't trust this guy. It just something's off." And then obviously the true colors kind of came out. So it's like you always knew something was just kind of off with MJF. And it was like, babyface doesn't quite fit you. It's cute that he's trying, but it's like, it doesn't quite fit. But it's like, you know, he's a perfect
That would be
heel,
like Willow Nightingale turning heel. I cannot see that girl as a heel.
Yeah.
She's too bubbly.
Now that's another thing.
Like, hey, you know,
with the women's 4-way match. So we have Toni Storm, who, by the way, her promos the last like 2 times have been so great. When she called her toots last night, I nearly lost it. But so what if Britt turns heel? I mean, does Saraya win in the UK? She's been without a title.
I could definitely see Saraya as one of the top winners to win that match because it is in her home country. Yeah. And I follow her on Instagram and she's so excited to wrestle there. It's like, well, maybe it can happen. Who knows? And then, you know, we could see the Outcast being split apart because if she wins the title, Toni Storm is going to be devastated.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a good storyline to set up about the Outcasts breaking up and everything. But for some reason, I mean, I know Saraya has her history and she's a known name. And of course, she is a fantastic women's wrestler. I just personally don't feel like we've seen enough of her in the AEW ring yet to put a title on her. Especially when we have so many other women who have been busting their asses to get to the top and they've constantly been knocked down. It's just one of those moments where I feel like if they don't give her more time to have more matches and everything, it might feel like they're sweeping the rug out from some other girl's feet.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a good point too.
Also, but I mean, I don't have an issue seeing a title on her, and I definitely think it would be interesting to see a split of the Outcasts. I personally wouldn't mind if they give it a little bit more time.
Yeah. What about Thunder coming back? I mean,
is she so? Did she wrestle last night? Because I didn't watch Collision because I was out all day.
She did not.
She did not. Okay.
But I keep hearing, you know, there's rumblings that she's coming. So does she show up at All In and like throw a wrench in everything?
I will be very interested to see if she does, especially with the drama that's been going on backstage and in meetings and everything. Because, I mean, recently there was apparently a meeting that Tony Khan had pulled together where they were supposed to be discussing Thunder Rosa and Thunder Rosa only, and then somehow it got turned around onto Brit, that Brit's the problem. And from everything I've seen about the real life drama that's going on between them two, I feel like Thunder Rosa is a little bit more problematic than I would like to see or know. And I'm just one of those people personally that once you find out that a wrestler can be problematic in real life, it's really hard for me to get on board with you when you're on the TV. So I wouldn't be surprised if she comes back at All In, but I also wouldn't be surprised if she waits a little bit longer to let things die down.
Yeah.
She could come back and have a match, but like let it be like a non-title match. Her throwing herself right into the title picture just seems very assertive and very like not out
demanding.
There. Which sucks because she's a Latina woman, and as a Latina woman, I love the representation, but I don't need her proof. I don't need her to be the problematic Latina woman. You know what I mean? I would love for her to come back because I feel that match where she won the title from Britt Baker was like one of the best women's matches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So,
her and Britt together are always, they're just amazing. Like their matches are really good. So Kim, actually, my husband he said, you changed his mind. Now he thinks Britt's gonna win. So Britt could win, and then Thunder could show up at All Out because we don't know, what's going on at All Out, and that would give a little.
That makes a little bit more sense to me than throwing her into All In, just because there's so much structure with All In already. We already know the card. I mean, I know, of course, anyone can make an appearance if they wish to, but I feel like the better chance to do that would be at the second pay-per-view when things are kind of a little bit more loose to work with. I did see a while back that my fiance actually asked a couple of questions.
The Goldberg one, was that?
Oh, God.
See. No, so his first thing says AEW and WWE both have super talented women's divisions right now. Are there any Forbidden Door dream matches you would like to see? My vote would be for Rhea Ripley versus Britt Baker or Athena versus Bianca Belair. I personally don't really... I'm really bad about putting together dream matches that involve both promotions. I definitely think that the sound of Athena versus Bianca Belair is very intriguing. I like Athena. I think she has plenty of potential and talent. I just wish she's one of the women in AEW that I wish they would push a little bit harder, because you can tell that she has a spark there. I just feel like she's not gotten quite the momentum that she could use.
Well, she's not being utilized on AEW like that because she's the ROH Women's Champion.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's freaking dominating over there.
I just feel like she came into AEW and was kind of on fire there for a little bit, and then she switched over to ROH, which is absolutely fine, but I would like to see a little bit more from her within AEW itself, because I feel like she could give a real boost to their women's division.
I like the thought of Rhea and Jade.
Ooh, that would be
I'm just saying.
interesting.
That would be two very strong women, but I feel Rhea would win.
Yeah.
Because Jade Cargill is so green.
Well, the thing is that AEW and WWE don't collaborate, but it's more AEW New Japan. So I think it would really be good if, AEW women would go against some of the New Japan women, so we could see, you know, the collaboration, because I mean, it's more like usually it's the men's division we see against the men's division in New Japan. So it would be kind of cool to see the AEW's women's division against their division. Like it'd be kind of cool to see the mix up, you know. And I don't know, I think I'd like to see the mix up. I mean, it would definitely be an alternate universe if any of the WWE went against AEW.
Yes.
Yeah, before she got hurt, I wanted Mercedes Moné versus like Britt. I thought, no, you know,
that would be killer.
That's sad what happened.
I would love to see Monet show up in AEW. I think that would skyrocket the win.
All right, Elyse. All right, what?
I'm sorry. I do not like her.
That's okay.
I don't. I feel like she's
I don't
just
care either way. Like I'm sorry, I am not a WWE fan, but I support anyone who likes wrestling from either promotion. Like I do not judge.
Well,
I just don't watch WWE.
She's in New Japan now, but she's injured.
You know.
Yeah, she broke her ankle.
That was when she was going against
Willow.
I mean,
Willow won the titles from her.
She slipped.
Yeah, but they would like the you know the result was already they were gonna put it already on Mercedes. They were just gonna put it on her, and it's like I feel like if we're gonna talk about problematic women and as wrestlers, I feel like she's one of the top because she and Charlotte Flair. No disrespect to any WWE people, this is just my personal opinion. I feel like they feel that they are nothing unless they have a title on them. That's why when they kept flipping back and forth with the title, when I was still watching it back in like 2017 or 2018, it was annoying because it's like, yo, you're only showcasing them. One's injury prone and one's freaking Nepo baby. And
that is true.
You're not showcasing anybody else, which is why the women's division was shit for so long.
What do you think's going to happen when you're the daughter of Ric Flair? Like, come on.
Yeah.
You know?
I get the title thing for sure with Charlotte. And I'll be honest with you, I really have never cared much about what's going on with Charlotte unless she has some gold on her waist, and I'm sure I'm not the only person, but
that's what I'm saying. She got married to Andrade, was gone for a bit, came back and thrust herself into the title series. Like, yo,
she did throw herself into it.
Let somebody else have their moment. Like, just because you're Ric Flair's daughter doesn't mean you need to have the spotlight. And they want her to break her father's record so bad, but y'all doing it so often that it's annoying and it's getting predictable. Like when I heard she didn't win at SummerSlam, I was happy. I was like, fine, thank you.
Okay, I know this isn't like relevant, but speaking of their title belts, and I have to say, because I know lots of people agree, they have the ugliest title belts I've ever seen. Like, let's all just make the same belt over and over again with a different colored W. Like, ew. Notice how AEW's belts are cool because they're all different, but we're just gonna make the same belt over and over again with a W in a different color. Like,
me and my fiance have had this discussion multiple times.
But you all thought it too.
Yes.
I said it, all right? Because I'm like, okay, you all thought it. I just said it. But I'm saying, like, how do you tell the difference of whose belt is whose? I'm just saying, like,
I would like to see a pink belt because pink is my favorite color. That's like super girly of me.
Thank you, Josh. It's tacky. It's just like, oh look,
Josh just said that branding makes them look so tacky, and that's so true.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
That's
AEW, I love because their belts are all different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know which belt is which.
I liked when they introduced the NJPW Strong title, and I liked that it was purple. I was like, okay, it's a more girly color. Mm-hmm. So you could tell it Kate is.
Girly. I love you. I look at me. My whole soul is black. Everything's black, but I do intricate colors in my black wardrobe. All right. She's like, I like pink.
I'm trying to take
these
same things.
Like you can see, my room is blue, but I do, I like colors when it's mixed with black.
I can't with you.
I love you.
So, Robert wants to know what we think about Jade Cargill. Is she on hiatus or what's going on with her?
She's on vacation.
So
Did you see her Instagram?
I don't remember where I saw it, if it was on Twitter or like a wrestling news site or what it was, but I saw rumors that Jade might not be coming back to wrestling. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've seen that. I don't remember where I saw it from, but I do know that there were quotes in it where she said that she enjoyed the time that she's had with it, but she's not entirely sure when she's going to be coming back. And the people who posted that online speculated that she could be taking at least a lengthy hiatus from wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, then that's given off. Let's everybody. I'm sorry, it is. It is. Oh, I'm nothing without the title, so I'm not going to wrestle.
And if it's going to happen with any of the women in AEW, it would be Jade. I mean, I always was like hit or miss with my thoughts on Jade through her entire title run, because I personally feel like she came across multiple women that could have taken that belt from her at the time that they wrestled, and it would have been a fantastic spinoff. But she, for whatever reason, she had all of this power, and I understand she's like ungodly strong for a woman and everything, but it's one of those moments that feel kind of similar to some instances with WWE in the past, where they're just pushing and pushing because they're big and strong. Yeah. Whereas it takes more than that, at least for me, to be like really drawn in by something and be interested in it. So I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't want to come back unless she's guaranteed another title run.
What if that's not it? What if it's just she's done everything she wanted to do in wrestling, and she had her fill, and maybe she's like, I just want to go on to other things. Coming, because she's also like, what is it, like a professional like trainer, and like, I mean, obviously with her body you can sell it. Maybe it's just,
and she's a mom. Like,
yeah,
there's a ton of different scenarios that it could be.
She might want to have another kid. I don't know.
She's married to Brandon Phillips. He was a baseball player, and they actually, I think they own a minor league team or something like that. So, my husband actually was a fan of Brandon Phillips. So, he kind of, but I mean, I'd like to see her come back, because I felt like we saw her grow so much from when she started to when she took her break or whatever. I thought she was good. And we actually met her at a charity event that they did here in Independence at one of the schools.
Oh, cool.
And she was amazing with the kids. I mean, just seeing how she was, I was like, I am forever her fan. She went and grabbed a little girl from the crowd, because it was a basketball. They did a basketball thing, and it was just she was amazing. And I cannot speak highly enough about her.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you had that experience.
If I remember correctly, I believe she did an interview like a little bit before she lost the title. She did an interview saying that she would like to go to Japan and wrestle there.
Yeah,
I think if she does that, it'll improve her.
Gary just posted that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
As you said,
Part of everything I said, it was just something I read somewhere.
Yeah, Brian Danielson's her trainer, and I did forget that, but now that Gary Joe said that, and they did talk about, I think that was before he had his injury, that he was going to take her to Japan. They were going to go together.
Right. Yep. I would be excited to see her in Japan. I feel like she could do some serious work in Japan.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great for her, especially where like the difference, of the style in Japan, and I think it'd be great for her,
I do see someone just brought up Layla Hirsch. How's she doing? I will say with AEW, when people leave for injury or personal time or whatever it is, because there's always a lot going on in AEW, I tend to forget about people And Layla Hirsch is one of those people that I forgot about until they just got mentioned.
Yeah.
She was injured. And then didn't she just like debut with the Kingdom or something? An ROH? So, I can't remember.
I think she's perfect for Ring of Honor. Like that seems like more her style, like Ring of Honor. Like,
she is underrated. She's pretty good. I enjoyed what I saw of her when she was in AEW.
Yeah, that was my husband. He said she's underrated.
Yeah.
So he wants to know, he wants us to tell who our favorite wrestlers are, men and women, and why. So,
I'm going last.
Oh.
You guys go first.
Kim, you go first, because
Okay.
Take your time.
So we actually covered this on our interview with Gary Joe about our engagement. My favorite men's wrestler is Hangman. It's been Hangman for a long time. Before then, it was Moxley, former Dean Ambrose. He was like my first guy in wrestling to like really care about if they won or not. That was Dean Ambrose. And then once I started watching AEW and saw Hangman, I got sucked in with him real quick. And then my favorite women's wrestler, of course, is Chris Statlander. You can't do any better than Chris Stat. She is just on fire, and I literally screamed at the top of my lungs and then sobbed when she came in and took the title from Jade.
Double or
That was
nothing.
the best thing for me to happen in that show. So I'm excited to see what happens with both of them moving forward, especially with Hangman being back with the Elite. It's all exciting stuff happening with them. Whoop whoop.
That's jamming, sorry. Speaking of Hangman, I just want to say this real quick, right? I've said this before and people laugh at me, but you know how like some wrestlers have like, little things you could do, like, Britt's got the towel and like, they claim has a finger, but wouldn't it be cute if they had like tiny little lassos you can just kind of like ring around when Hangman, because just a little bunch of like,
Yes.
like, I just thought it was cute, like sell the little lassos, you could be like, when his music goes off. I thought it was cute, People look at me like, I'm like, what?
So I'm like Kim in that initially Moxley was my guy, and I still love him, but as obviously you can tell, I love the Bucks. My Bucks.
I already love you. I already love you.
I love them so much. They are just in the ring. You can't compare to them. They are so good. It doesn't matter who they wrestle with. They make them look good. They are so talented, and I want them to be the tag. I want them to beat FTR. Although I do love FTR. I have like a really hard time with this question, and I really am going to beat my husband up later for asking it. But I love so many of them. Just
yes.
I love the Acclaimed. There's so many different wrestlers, and then Britt. I love Britt. I just think she's just amazing. You can
choose more than one,
and so yeah, I know.
You don't have to have just one. Like you can say a favorite wrestlers. It doesn't have to be just one.
Yeah, it's pretty much the whole roster. Okay, I'm just kidding.
I feel you on that. I do.
I really have a hard time. And then Sammy Guevara, I actually met him a long time ago before there was the JAS, and I hated him. But when he got hit with that golf cart, that is my all-time favorite moment.
That is a golden moment.
I love to watch that over and over, and it was so good. he's just, yeah. So, and
That's a
then
very comical moment.
if you follow him on like Insta or anything, just him and Ty and how they are with Brody Lee's kids, I like love them so much. Like just the love and the community. And I'm a member of Heels. If you're not, I recommend it immensely. Is such a cool place, kind of like Honor the Elite. It's very positive. They don't put up with negativity, and you get a lot of cool perks. So I'll be happy to tell you about it. But anyway, but I just love everything Elite. So and my Bucks.
Okay, so I guess I'm next because Vicky wants to go last. So, for me, my current wrestlers, like if I had to pick a top 3 from All Elite, be Orange Cassidy,
Yes.
hands down. Definitely Hangman's up there, but number one will be Wardlow.
Oh,
I wonder who it is.
I love
Who
him.
could it be?
Because your name's
Who
WarMama.
could it be?
Yes, that. Gary gave me that nickname because of my love for Wardlow, and I've never met him. I'm dying to meet him. He's reposted me in his Instagram story a couple of times, and every time he does it, I'm just like, oh my god, I love him so much. So
It's gonna
much.
happen. You're gonna meet him
He
someday.
replaced Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns was my favorite in WWE. And I actually met Roman. So yeah, I just need to meet him. And all will be right in my life.
Yeah, I also have Roman Reigns above my because
yes, I saw it in your video. I was like, she's a Roman fan. Yes.
Yes.
What else? Okay, and for the women, it's definitely Jamie Hayter.
Yes.
Britt Baker.
Yes.
And Hikaru Shida's number 1.
Oh.
Hands down. Hikaru Shida. I love her. I think she's a phenomenal wrestler. I liked it when she was champion. For a bit, she was cosplaying as Tifa from Final Fantasy because she was wearing similar outfits. I'm like, hey, I know that outfit. But Hikaru Shida is just, I love her. I love her. And just, yeah, she's just phenomenal with me.
Yes.
I will be right back. Just
okay. All right, Vicky, you're up.
Do your thing, girl.
It's your thing. You're up.
Obviously, the name Vixen Omega. Vixen
I mean,
being
come
me,
on.
Omega being Penny.
I wonder who.
Okay, so obviously I have a few. My all-time favorite is, was, and always will be Sting. That is number 1. I absolutely love Kenny Omega, and I love my Bucks. So Kenny Omega and my Bucks, those are my babies. I don't care what anyone says. I have gotten so much hate everywhere about them, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you think. You know, I didn't ask your opinion. I didn't ring your buzzer. So take your opinion and go. So I absolutely, like I said, Sting. I know. I love you, Rhonda. You know, my Bucks too. I love them. I absolutely love. I don't care what anyone says about them. Like, they are super talented. And let's just call this what it is. Without Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, there'd be no AEW, because that is the house that they built. You're welcome. So, like I said, Sting, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Darby Allin, like, that's like my little clan, you know. And like I said, I have a lot of other likes and stuff, but and like for the girls, my Chris Statlander, my Britt Baker, you know, and you know, like, I'm trying to think. Damn, now I gotta think. You know, I definitely have other likes. I like Anna Jay too. And you know, I do like Thunder Rosa, and like I said, there's like a lot. It's definitely you know, a talented roster. But like, let me tell you, Britt Baker is the first female that I've met, and she is awesome. She is so cool. I told her, I'm like, wow, you're even more gorgeous in person. It's kind of disgusting. And she laughed. It's like, but she's so cool.
I got to meet Thunder Rosa, and
oh really?
When we met her, she didn't have any makeup on, so at first I was like, is that, you know, she didn't have her face paint, and I'm like, is that? And my husband's like, yeah,
so
it is.
different without the face paint.
Yeah,
Crazy.
she also is beautiful and so sweet. She was very nice, and she took pictures with everybody.
I don't doubt it. Another reason why I love her too is because she's spicy too, and she's like, you know, colorful. But I'm also a huge fan of Day of the Dead. Like, I have it everywhere. Like, one of my next tattoos is gonna be it too. And for when Halloween comes, like, that shit's all over my room. I'm a huge fan. I just love the culture. Everything about it is beautiful. So like, it just, you know, like I said, I just love AEW. I love this roster. I love like how everybody has a different flavor, different flair. Everything. I just, you know, I just love AEW, man. I do. Yeah. Welcome back, girl.
Thank you.
So yeah, you might have missed it. I don't know if you could hear me, but obviously Sting is my all-time favorite wrestler. Has been for the longest time, like over 25 years. And then Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Darby Allin, saying Chris Statlander, Britt Baker. So, you know, I just didn't want you to miss out. So
thank you. I appreciate
no
that.
girl left behind. No problem. I don't want you to miss anything.
Jacob is asking if the meet and greets at the shows are worth it.
I wouldn't know. I haven't done one yet.
I've not done one either.
I have not either. I've just been lucky enough to get to meet people. So the first time we got to meet,
Gary has
meet some of them, because we were there as volunteers with Special Olympics, and so they took a group, and so we got to meet that way. And then we hung around after a show, got to meet Brody King, Layla Gray. They came over and just talked and took pictures. Super nice. I mean, we've already talked about it now that I've been a heel now, and that's one perk of being a heel is you get a free greet with the female talent, whoever is at the show. So I'm definitely going to take advantage of it when they're here in October. And I think, I mean, if it's somebody that you love as a wrestler, then I would say it's always worth it. And I've never met anybody from AEW that hasn't been nice. Like, we saw Moxley before the last show. He was like driving up, and he stayed in character, like totally being BCC, and was like, wouldn't wave or anything. And I just loved it. I loved how he was in character. Yes, I said Moxley, Gary Joe. He's awesome.
What the hell?
Sorry. My backs.
I am still here. I'm just going to turn my camera off for a second because I need to plug my phone in.
Okay.
Reposition. But I'm here, so I'm listening.
Okay. You do what you gotta do. Okay.
So earlier somebody mentioned something about Goldberg. I don't know. Do you think he's going to show up at AEW?
I don't think so, but who knows?
I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't see it happening.
What was it that I saw a clip, I think sometime last week, when, you know, I think it was the Dark Side of the Ring, and they were interviewing a bunch of people from WCW, and they were talking about how they tried to make Regal wrestle at least 6 minutes with Goldberg, because Goldberg was known for having a bunch of squash matches, and they were really fast and they were really short, and they were like, oh, let Regal wrestle him, try to wrestle him for at least 6 minutes. And that didn't happen, and they blamed Regal. And I'm like, what?
Well, Regal's no slouch though either, you know.
I was like, wait, what? But what? Why is it his fault? There's just I was just like, wow. Don't get me wrong. Goldberg he's an attraction. He's a pull, and people will watch him. But I don't see him fitting in with AEW when they're.
I don't either. I hope not. I hope they.
Is he still with WWE, or is he like?
I don't even know.
Off the grid. I don't
think
know.
so. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Last time I heard he was in WWE, I think it was like 2 years ago, and he won the title at SummerSlam or some shit. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
What about what do you think about Jack Perry now that he's turned heel?
I love him.
I do too.
I love him. Like, I was a big fan of his dad. I've said this multiple times on the live. I love his father. I love Luke Perry. I don't remember anything that happened on the show, but I remember watching 90210 as a kid and loving Luke Perry. I was just like, oh my. And then I saw him, I'm like,
I know.
Jack Perry, and then they say that's his son. I'm like, you could totally see it. They look so much alike.
Yeah, exactly.
His new persona is a total 180 from Jungle Boy, and I'm just like,
I wasn't sure.
I like it. I just don't like the music.
But
yeah,
I don't like the music
either.
either.
The music is like,
the music is depressing.
and it's like, you should have done like "Welcome to the Jungle."
That would have been cool. That would have been good.
Welcome to the jungle. A little loud, you know.
Yeah, my husband said, "Don't get Rhonda talking about Luke Perry. We will be here for days," and that is true.
We're not going to. We're not going to.
Hey, Luke Perry was a treasure.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was
a treasure.
You stop your nonsense. We did get asked a question about Sting and Darby. Do we ever see them feuding? I'm like, no, absolutely not. I do see them having like a retirement match for Sting and Sting passing the torch. But like Darby said, they see each other as equals. So feuding, no, absolutely not. Like a retirement match, I see, but other than that, no.
I don't think his retirement match shouldn't be against Darby, though. I'm sorry, I don't think it should.
My husband thought maybe Jericho and Sting, and it be a retirement match, like.
I could see that.
Like I said, not a feud match, but it would be kind of nice to see them wrestle against each other for like the nostalgia, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because they're so close and you know, Darby and Sting are like best friends, it would be kind of like bittersweet. So if it'd be like Sting winning or something and passing the torch to Darby, but still always being in his life and being part of AEW, that's kind of how I see it going down. But there would never be a feud match. Like, that doesn't even make sense, you know?
No.
Well, I think Darby respects Sting way too much to even go down that road.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's funny because speaking of like AEW, like obviously I've loved Sting since I was like 15 years old. And when AEW first started and I laid eyes on Darby, the first thing I said is, he reminds me so much of Sting. So when Sting first showed up and he went right for Darby Allin, I went, I knew it. I was like, because they meshed so perfectly together. And it's just like, you know, it's kind of like Batman and Robin, but not, you know, it's just like, so they vibe great together. So it's just like, and when I met Darby, I was just like, he just reminds me so much of Sting in a way. And of course, my best friend is like, Sting's your favorite wrestler. He's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, shut up. Like embarrassing. He was like, yeah.
Over 700 viewers.
Oh, wow.
Right now?
Wow.
I told you we're awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah. We appreciate you so much. Believe me.
Are we famous yet?
Love and appreciate you.
I did see that.
Are we famous?
The Friends of the Squared Circle page said that we could come on sometime and say hi.
I would love to.
Down.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm
maybe
sure
Wardlow will see this.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, Wardlow.
Wait, where?
For me.
Where?
He's not here.
He's not here.
Don't hype me up like that.
You never know. He shares your Instagram stories. Hey.
He does. He secretly loves me.
Nobody shares my
Henry.
shit, so quit your bitching.
My boyfriend's laughing at me right now.
I
You're
saw
all
that.
taken. I'm just waiting for Kenny Omega. All right. Hey.
I saw that Henry asked if this will be a
I know,
monthly
it
thing.
really
It
is.
will
I can
be a
imagine.
monthly thing on Sundays.
We're gonna be doing this monthly. Oh.
Yes, monthly.
It's gonna be
That'd be cool.
fun. It's gonna be fun, guys.
Girl, what are you doing? Laundry? What's going on back there?
No, I'm
What's
getting
training
ready to head out. So I'm leaving y'all.
I love messing with Elyse. That's my girl. That's my boo.
Yes. I drunk texted her last week. It was amazing.
Hi, Joseph.
Hi, Joseph.
Hi, Joseph.
Hello.
We're like the perfect, like, different type of energy, like 4 different type of women. That's what I like. It's like I love like different types of people because we're all different. We bring different spice to like the table, which I like, you know.
Yes.
And
And I
she's
know
spicy anyway, Elyse.
I'm sure I'm not
What you doing
the
over there, Mama? What you doing?
I'm too spicy for your heart. Any K-pop fan will know
Spicy.
what I'm
Well, we all know that I'm crazy. Everybody knows. Like I'm in a whole different element. You know, I'm by myself over here. So.
I haven't seen the cuckoo come out of Vicky yet, but
That doesn't
I know
mean
it's
it
there.
won't.
Kim, you were gonna
I
say
was letting
something.
you
What
guys
were you gonna
talk. I was
say?
being respectful.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure you other 3 women will agree. It is awesome, and it just makes us feel seen for the women in the wrestling community to have an opportunity and a platform like this to be able to discuss not only wrestling, but just to get to know each other and come together more as a community. It makes my heart so happy to be a young woman and get to have a platform where you can have an opinion. And I know, of course, there have always been women wrestling fans, but I feel like we've maybe just not gotten the amount of respect ultimately that we should get just because we're women. So it's really awesome to get to come on here and be able to do this with y'all.
I agree.
I agree. Completely.
I have a funny story.
I bet you do.
Quiz that. Last year when I went to Grand Slam, I was literally surrounded by a bunch of guys. There wasn't many girls. It was a bunch of guys. We were all having a discussion and blah, blah, blah. And this was after Saraya came out and they were doing a commercial. And, I was giving my opinion. I was telling my information. I forget exactly what I said. But one of the guys looked at me and was like, wow, you know your shit. What the fuck do you think I'm here for? Like,
I'm not just wasting
time. I know my
I'm
shit. I'm a fan. Do you not? I'm just here to. I'm just sitting here to look pretty. Like, come on.
It's awesome to find out I'm a wrestling fan. So, like, you like wrestling? I was like, yeah, I love wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan for like over 30 years. And they're like, how old are you? I'm like, never mind. I'm just kidding. I am 42. Yes, even though I don't look it. Thank you. No, anyway. No, but it's like people hear me talking. I'm like, listen, I'm not just one of those girls like, oh my God, like he's so cute. Like his butt is so nice. Look at their costume. Like, no, I know my shit. Like, I know my wrestling. I love and appreciate the wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they might be having a nice, cute butt and they look hot, but that's not the only reason I'm watching. No, it's like, no, it's just, I really appreciate the wrestling and shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, and there's a lot, like, I know about it and like the wrestling moves and just like everything about it is just awesome. I love
talent that these individuals, men, women, have, the athleticism. It pisses me off when people say it's fake. No, it's not fake. It's predetermined.
People have a problem understanding the difference between scripted and fake.
I mean, like, it's not fake. It's real. They're putting their bodies on the line. I mean,
people go out for months from injuries. I mean, Chris just came back from however many months it was, 9 months or something, that she had been gone on injury. Like, it's, people are not just going out there and acting like they're throwing themselves around a ring. They're actually having to face things from that. And that alone, I don't
exactly.
get why people say it's fake, knowing that injuries happen.
I know.
Was Dante Martin's leg being broken?
Oh
when a
my
fucking
gosh,
Canadian
that was
destroyer fake? Like, oh my god, no, that's totally plain.
Jamie Hayter
He
currently
bent his
cannot
leg like
wrestle.
that. Like, no, motherfucker, it was broken.
You
That's
can't
not
fake
fake.
gravity, Josh
You know what I mean?
says.
You didn't just glue it back together. It's broken. That
Exactly.
shit happens. Like, people get
My
hurt.
my boyfriend is hearing our conversation. He's like, even you're throwing yourselves around in the ring. Of course you're gonna get hurt.
Exactly.
Like, no, it's all rubber. They're fine. Like, no, they're
Headaches,
not.
backaches. People get
Rick broke
cortisone
her
shots
nose.
just to make it through the day.
Ruby
Yeah.
broke her nose. It's not fake. It's
Ruby
not
broke her
like
nose. Jamie Hayter can't even wrestle in her home country because she's injured.
yeah.
I mean,
why that match
imagine
is so
how
quick.
much of a
Sad
sting that
opportunity
is.
to have to miss because of injury, bro.
Yeah.
Brian Danielson finished his match with a broken arm.
I
And
know. He's like,
come
I got
on.
this. It's the final countdown. My ass is going out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, actually, I meant to bring this up to you guys, is like, obviously we see a lot of like tournaments and competitions, like with the men battling for certain things. I want to see an all-female battle royal with
Yes.
the women competing for like the world title, like, and like, you know, the women going in there and just like, you know, competing and beating the shit out of each other, like putting in their work because they want to earn their spot for that title, because nobody sees it. It's all, you know, the tag team division of the men going in there in the singles competition, but nobody ever sees women going in there fighting for their spot to go after, like, you know, the world champion. And I want to see that shit.
They don't do it
You know
in
what I
AEW,
mean?
but they've consistent ever since the first one. They still do that over in the other company. They have the Royal Rumble, and then they do their thing, and whoever fights for the title of WrestleMania.
Yeah, but that's WWE, honey. We're in AEW.
No, I know. I would love to see it, and I would love to see it.
I'd love to see it.
What pissed me off about WWE is that they had the one pay-per-view where it focused on only women, and then they never did it again.
Yeah.
What was the whole point then?
Well, you know what? WWE showcases women as like sexual objects, and I'm sorry I had to say it, but it's like, let's
me started on it.
Trash the women up as much as possible. Pop some implants in their titties. Yeah, I said it. Put as much makeup on as possible and make them look as trashy as possible and not value them as much as they should be, so that we can get as much eye candy watching them as possible and not showcase their talent at all. Like, that's not cool. That's fucking degrading.
To the point that you can't even pay attention to what they're doing in the ring to know if they're good or not.
The Attitude Era, like, you know, like even the bikini match, right, between Sable and Jacqueline. She took all that shit off, and them titty prints were just like, hey, every man's gonna watch. And that's why obviously the ratings went through the roof, because she's like, there ain't a damn thing Vince McMahon could do about this. Boom, hey, them titty prints. All right, everyone's gonna watch. You know what I'm saying? I said what I said.
Gary just made an awesome point, and she's one of my favorite women wrestlers, AJ Lee. I would love for her to be in AEW.
Oh yeah,
I love her. Yes, CM Punk's wife. Right now, what I think is hilarious is that they're both on the TV show Heels.
Oh yeah,
with Stephen Amell.
Watch that.
It is so good. It's so good. Watch it.
I need to watch it.
It's really good. I highly recommend it. They basically take old school country independent wrestling and turn on his head. Stephen Amell, you think you're gonna love him, and then by the end of season 1, you hate him. That's how I feel, at least.
I should watch it. I really should.
It's really good.
It's on my list to watch, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get.
You should definitely watch it. But yeah, CM Punk is on there.
Oh.
And now AJ is going to be on here on it this
Rhonda,
season.
go first about what you think about CM Punk. We will go down the square.
Yes, Rhonda, lead us.
Oh my. What do I think about CM Punk?
It's a free thought, girl.
Well,
go for it, because I'm going to.
Okay, obviously we know who I love. So
I'm still here, guys. I just turned you off for a second.
I feel
like doing laundry again.
I'm not doing laundry.
They have not addressed the elephant in the room.
Address the elephant.
They never will.
I want a feud FTR, CM Punk, Kenny Omega, and the Elite. Boom. Let's just hash it out, okay?
Mhm.
Quit being a bitch ass, CM Punk, because you're a bitch ass, and let's fight it out. Put it in the ring. Leave it all in the ring. Forget it. That's it. That's all. I think he should have come back a heel. He left the way he left. He should be a heel. He should not be a baby face. But that's okay. I'm done.
I personally, and I'm sure my fiance is watching this right now, like expecting every word to come out of my mouth I could care less about him. I would feel much happier if he were not in the company. I mean, wrestling aside, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where once you show your true colors as an actual person outside of the ring, that determines your image in my mind. We all know of his pipe bomb in WWE and how he left that situation. For him to turn around, come to AEW knowing that he is the name that he is and that he has the power that he has, for him to come to AEW and do the exact same thing to a T is completely uncalled for. Not to mention, how many years has it been since that incident in WWE? Have you not heard all of the backlash and all of the opinions from that and maybe grown as a person? I mean, I know there's speculation and it's come out that both parties were at fault for whatever they were each at fault for, but ultimately, if CM Punk had not showed up and had his britches as far up his ass as he did, we wouldn't be in the boat that we're in. And now it is a giant elephant in the room that I personally think will never get addressed, because if it gets addressed in the future, that's just reopening the same can of worms for a third time. So I wish he'd go away. I never had the chance to be a fan of his as I was younger, so I don't have any personal connection to him or anything. I'd be fine with him gone.
I'm going to state my opinion and then I have to go.
Okay.
I'll miss you.
I'm going to miss you too. My opinion on Punk, I liked him in WWE. I like him in AEW. Because you could talk, like, I respect y'all's opinion. Y'all could talk all that shit. Y'all and everybody else will want to talk. But at the end of the day, people will tune in for him. Yeah. He is a mega draw.
Yes.
Whether he's good, bad, terrible attitude, good attitude, he has friends in WWE. Avi, he works great with FTR. They had the whole thing with Ricky Starks. I think they took that opportunity and turned Ricky Starks heel, which made no sense. This should have been Punk to turn heel.
Yes.
But whatever.
Yes.
Whatever. I don't know where they're going with it, but it led to Ricky the Steamboat coming back and all that crap happened last week. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, CM Punk is a draw. So everybody can talk all the motherfucking shit that they can talk. But people will still tune in and watch. I will watch regardless because I think he is a good wrestler. I like his wife better, but that's another whole thing. But he's good. He just needs to keep his ego in check.
Yes.
That's basically it. That's basically all the opinion I have. I'm really hoping AJ Lee comes and joins him because I think they will be the super punk rock couple of the country, and I love them. All right. So as much as it pains me to say this, I do have to go. It was really nice talking to you, ladies. Hope we'll do this again next month.
Yes.
Gary, I'm out. I'll continue watching, but I cannot be in the live anymore. Okay. So have a good day, everybody.
Have a good day.
I love all of you. And Warlow, if you're watching, DM me.
Please.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Elyse.
All right, Vicky, you're up.
I have to warn you, I am a bit of a savage. I'm very straightforward, honest, and blunt. Okay, when they first said CM Punk was coming, And the fact that everybody filled that arena and was cheering for him and not even 100% positive that he was coming was just amazing to see him come. Everyone was going like batshit crazy. And I'm like, damn. Like, you know, even I got goosebumps. So like, you know, the fact that like everything was going great, you know, everything was going great until Brawl Out. And it's like, listen, you know, and like I said, I'm just going to lay it straight. Nobody has to, you know, feel the same way I do or agree with my opinion. It's just my opinion. So, you know, like I said, Punk is entitled to his feelings. You're entitled to feel the way you feel.
Right.
But not during a live media scrum where everybody's watching. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? For you to run your fucking mouth
next
and act
to
like
TK.
Exactly. And act like an entitled baby, you know, like it was just immature and unprofessional, you know. And it's like the fact that you threw the Bucks and Kenny Omega onto the bus, you do not bite the hand that feeds you. That's just my opinion. If you had a problem, you should have gone backstage with just Tony, Kenny, the Bucks, and Hangman, and someone from HR, and sat down privately in like an office or whatever with just you guys and handled it like a fucking man. You know, handle your shit privately. It wasn't for the media, the wrestling world, the fans, or for anybody else backstage to fucking watch or deal with. It's not our business. No one should have been involved. No one should have known, because you know what? All you did was stir the fucking media frenzy pot, and then everyone's like, sick of their opinion. It's not our fucking business. Had nothing to do with it. What happens backstage with the politics is not our fucking business. And you know what? He should have just shut his fucking mouth and just, you know, shut up. Like, you won the title, and now you're acting like a fucking bitch. You're like a grown man throwing a fucking temper tantrum. You know what I mean? Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Yes. And then, you know what? This wouldn't have started in the first place. And then, you know what? You started. So, of course, if I'm the Bucks, I'm going to go to your door too and be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you could have just come to our office and asked me, like, how you felt or whatever. But, like, no, you had to run your fucking mouth. Shut the fuck up. All right?
You don't get to run your mouth and tell people to come to talk to you. You don't get to say, on one hand, come talk to me. My door's always open if you have an issue. Turn around and do whatever bullshit he did at the media scrimmage. And then want to throw your hands up and say, well, I'm not at fault for anything. That's just not, that's not how the world works. No. Not to mention, you're a grown-ass man. Maybe act like a grown man.
You're throwing a fucking big
You are
fit.
older than these men that you're doing this
Tony
with.
Khan, you're embarrassing. You're being embarrassed. And you know what? Not only that,
absolutely.
With all the media right there are also kids in that front row that are doing their own media podcast. Yes. But everybody's watching you, and you just look like a bitch. You know what I mean? Handle your shit privately. Get your shit together. You know, you're not entitled to shit. This world doesn't fucking owe you anything. Grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? It does not owe you shit. You know, don't bite the hand that feeds you. You are fucking getting millions of money, and you're biting the hand that feeds you. You know, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega did not have to let you in the company. And here you are like, wah! It's like, grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's just like, I'm just saying, I don't give a shit. And yeah, obviously I love Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, but I had no problem with Punk coming. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just like,
I mean,
he does. This shit would have happened.
He is a draw. In the seat.
You know?
He does. Yes. And people, and he's going to continue to put asses in the seats. But they,
you know, it just blows my fucking mind. Because I watched after and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like,
exactly.
You know, I'm a grown ass man and I work with children.
Well,
what children? Yeah. It's like, because last time I checked, the Bucks are in their 30s and Kenny's almost 40. So who are the fucking children that you're working with? Because the only child I see right now is you.
Not to mention, you're going to have the nerve to call the people who got this company up and running that wanted to bring you in and have you be a draw for them. You're going to call them children when they gave you this opportunity.
Threw their asses under the bus. So, and like, all it does is make you look like an asshole. You know?
That's exactly what it did.
And then the media storm started. And it's just like, dude, like, no. And then obviously, they're like I said, they're going to go back there, come to your door and be like, what the hell? Like, why did you do that? Obviously. And then obviously, I have no doubt that Punk probably will, like, you know, with this friggin' attitude, like, probably threw first. It's like, you know, they're going to defend themselves. You know what I mean? Like I said, none of this was okay. And like I said, shit that happens backstage, keep it the fuck backstage. It's not our business. It's not for anybody to know. I'm just saying. But I hope they all work this shit out privately, so they can all work together. And, if Punk can contain his attitude and his ego and hopefully, go forward from there, then that's cool. But other than that, don't fucking make a public spectacle. You're embarrassing.
And the thing too about like making it a public spectacle, the way that it all went down is things like this, yes, they need to be dealt with behind closed doors, outside of the media's eye, because it just sways so many different factors that go into the viewership and everything once all of that is out in the open. But had this been a conversation that they could have had with TK behind closed doors, you could have then, I don't know, maybe made a killer storyline out of that and made something great from it. And now because it blew up in the way that it did, it is just this giant elephant in the room. And I feel like it's never going to be addressed because there's,
absolutely.
I know they've apparently talked and made things at least okay with each other to be in the same atmosphere and everything. But I feel like there's still got to be some kind of animosity or tension there because, I mean, the trios titles were immediately swiped because of that. Like, if I were the Bucks, I would be pissed.
Exactly.
Like, you could have made something out of it and you could have used it to your advantage had you been smart and thought ahead about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, all this shit was unnecessary. It did not need to happen. But I just felt bad for, like, Tony Khan because he's sitting next to him, like,
he looked so
eyes.
I would have looked at him like, you better shut the fuck up right now. I would have whispered in him like, you better shut the fuck up. You know what's good for you? Shut the fuck up. But I wouldn't let anyone hear. I would have like whispered in his ear like, shut the fuck up right now. If you don't, I'm gonna fire your ass. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, but I would have looked at him too like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like Tony's like, but the fact that he didn't like look at him, like give him the look like, shut up. Like I just felt bad for Tony. Like you're fucking embarrassing him. Like
because if I were Tony, I would imagine Tony is aware of the name that CM Punk is and the draw that he has and the money that he had already brought into the company at that point. If I were Tony, I would kind of sit back too and not really know what to say or have much to say because I would imagine you're scared of losing the person who's going to bring you a lot of money. But at a certain point, especially with it being a younger company still getting their footing in a lot of things, you got to take a step back as the owner and realize that some things are not worth all of the drama and all of the extra shit that's going on. Like, I get he's a draw and I get he makes you money, but how does that affect things in the long run?
Yeah.
Well, I think that, probably CM Punk probably used that to, like, thinking in his own head. Like, his ego gets the best of him, too. Like, like, oh, well, I'm a draw and I make a lot of money and they brought me in. But that doesn't mean you get to bite the hand that feeds you. All right. Yeah. You don't get to treat people like that. Treat people how you want to be treated. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I might have a savage mouth and be like, but I'm respectful to everybody. I'm kind to people. And I do not treat people like shit. Like, and like my attitude will change depending on how your ass is treating me. So if I'm acting like a bitch, you better ask yourself why. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but he's just like, he's an egomaniac. He's just thinking like, well, I can do whatever you want. No, you can't. No, you can't. It's like, that's why your ass was gone for a couple months and you have no title. It's like you caused this shitstorm, so I hope, I'm pretty sure he learned his lesson because he's probably thinking like, well, damn, my ass was sent home. I have no title. Tony ain't calling me. I might have fucked up.
Yeah.
Just a little. You know what I mean? So
he's also not as young as he was when he did it with WWE. He doesn't have quite as much time left on his end to be trying to make new connections and get back into the wrestling world. This may be his last connect or one of them. Like, you really don't want to go squaring that up, man.
And just think how Tony treated him. Like, when he got injured, all those times, he gave you the time off. Like, he gave you as much time as you heal, and then he's like, you just kept taking and taking and taking, and just, you don't get to act like that. Like, you're a grown-ass man. Act like it. You know what I mean? Like, be professional, okay? Like, just be professional. Like, common courtesy. Like, it just, and I'm just glad that whole thing is like, because I was just like, oh my God.
Hi,
like,
yeah, you fucking rule! Rock and roll! Yeah!
So yeah, I mean, somebody mentioned, I saw, that Kenny did make a mention the other night that about coming to Collision. So I mean, maybe they
Hi,
will.
baby.
Hey, Elyse.
Hi.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we will see a resolution to it. I don't know.
I will say this. I wouldn't mind to see if they could make something out of it one way or the other. If both parties, because I don't want to just put all of the blame on CM Punk. I mean, he definitely seems to be the main root of the issue in this equation, but I'm sure everyone is accountable for something. So if both parties can buck up and be adults and understand that, hey, we're here to do a job, regardless of what the job is.
Buck up, damn it. Shut the fuck up.
I wouldn't mind to see if they could do something with it, but I don't feel that Punk is ever really going to be able to sit down with himself and say, hey, I was at fault for this. This was my mistake, because that's going to have to take him reflecting back years ago to understand everything else that he's done that's been problematic. So if he can get to a point with himself that he can do that, good for him. And maybe then I'll be interested in watching him and knowing what his plans are. But until then, it's just time that he's on my TV screen.
Well, that's why I said they should have all gone back just privately, just the people who are having the issues with each other. Just be them and Tony and someone from HR, so that they had a mediator, and just sit down and be like, hey, this is how I feel. This is what my issue is with you. But you know what? Let's hash all this shit out now, figure out a way to compromise and work together. And, it's like, let's just get it all out. Let's get this shit out now and be like, is it worth us being stressed out? Is it worth us not being able to work good together? Is it worth us being angry at each other? We're grown men. Is this really worth it? This, it's bullshit. It's like, life is too short. Is it really worth us being pissed off at each other over what? Over what? Words? Come on. Let it go.
Not to mention, do you really want to have bad blood with the company's EVPs? That's not really a good place to be standing at.
Idiots.
Yeah. I mean, he's still there, so that's.
But he should have chose not to continue it. At least not live,
Right. That's the thing, is even if something popped off in the camera's view or anything like that, that's one thing. But to go as far as he did with the media afterwards, that is the part where things started being completely uncalled for.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, Elyse said apparently last night there was something again. Punk said something about Hangman. I guess there was a sign that said Hangman Country. I don't know. But I saw somebody else was asking about the Elite and Bullet Club Gold as a match. So Juice Robinson, Jay White, the Guns, the Young Bucks, Kenny, and Hangman. What do you guys think?
It would be interesting. I'll say this much. The Guns with Bullet Club Gold, it just feels kind of random to me for some reason. I feel like they don't quite fit into the mix of what the Bullet Club
it was thrown together. There you go.
Yeah, so if it weren't for that, I would be super excited for that. I would still like to see it happen. That is something I would definitely sit down and enjoy watching, but the Guns definitely feel like a little bit of a wild card in that scenario.
And see, I actually love them together. I love Bullet Club Gold. I mean, Jay White and Juice Robinson, just the two of them together. And then I don't know. I personally like the Guns. I like them. I also did get to meet them at that charity event, basketball event we went to. They're both phenomenal. They were great with the kids, the crowd. So I think seeing them differently than how they act in the ring. But my husband is a huge Shawn Michaels fan. So if you know Shawn Michaels, they kind of pay tribute to him a lot, obviously, because Billy was in DX, taking you back to, they grew up with Shawn, so their outfits kind of pay tribute to Shawn a lot, and so I really like them together, and I think they could do some really good stuff with the Elite, just because I love the Bucks, and I think the Bucks are good, and they could definitely elevate the Guns. So yeah, and Juice Robinson is so freaking funny when he
Juice is so good.
Ricky, like that is like my favorite.
Ricky. I'm like, stop yelling everyone's name. Why do you yell? Ricky. He's always yelling. It's funny though.
Someone asked if
I think it's a work.
I think Billy Gunn himself would have a lot more to say on screen if he were actually retiring. Yeah. It feels very similar to the spot with Cody when Cody left his boots in the ring. It's giving the same vibe, and of course Cody is still wrestling. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they spin it as him being retired in the ring just because of his age. I mean, I don't know if he's got any like personal health things going on that aren't known to the public, but I would like to still see him with the company. I mean, that's him and the Acclaimed. That combination is just electric, and I am
works
perfectly biased because they were in the ring when we got to go in the ring. But outside of that, like the dynamic that the three of them has is truly something that you don't come across too often. They immediately sparked with each other, and I think if he could come back as just a manager or something, that would be really awesome to see. But whether it's real or not, if he's got something going on that's causing him to need time off the TV, I hope everything is well.
Yeah. I think it's a work, definitely. I think my husband thinks he's going to turn on the Acclaimed. He's put that in here like 6 times now.
I hope not.
Is that what you want to happen?
I think he thinks they will, just because he was kind of there to help build up the Acclaim a little bit. And now he's done they're way over, beyond over. So, Henry doesn't know your story, Kim, about you being in the ring.
Yes,
so
tell everyone your story.
Tell us
it's
real
so
fast.
Amazing.
Okay. So January 20. God, my fiance might kill me. January 27th, 24th. It's January 24th, not 27th. January 24th of this year, we were at a live Dynamite and Rampage taping at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. And that arena, Rupp Arena, was the very first wrestling show that we went to, which was a WWE show. The first show, it was the 25th. The first wrestling show that we went to was at Rupp Arena, and that's what we mark as our anniversary of being together. That's our anniversary date. And my fiance, had planned to propose to me at some point. He had already decided he wanted to do that, and then it got announced that they were coming to Rupp Arena, and that was the first, pretty sure that was the first Kentucky show that they did. I'm not sure, I can't remember if they had been to Louisville or not before that, but we went, and like I said, I had absolutely no clue that he was going to propose. It was the last thing that was in my mind. And at the very end of everything, when we were about to leave and Justin Roberts had come out and was talking to the crowd and everything, while I had stepped away to the bathroom, my fiance had went up to Justin Roberts and was like, "Hey, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend tonight." And that was basically it. He didn't really have a plan as to what was going to happen or anything, but I got back to the crowd with my fiance and our friend, and enough people had left at that. There were still a few hundred in the arena, but enough people had left that we could move our way up to the front because we were on the floor. So we moved up to the front while Justin Roberts was going around, and then the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn came out to the ring as well. And before I knew it, I turned around and my fiance was on one knee asking me to marry him. Justin Roberts pointed it out. He had said something about a man in the green Be Elite sweatshirt that I got him and his baseball cap. He pointed those details out and said that he's been standing on his feet all night, but I don't think he's going to be standing any longer. And when he said that, I turned around and he was down on his knee. And then Billy Gunn invited us to come up into the ring, so we got to do that, and we talked for a second to them, and then we got to scissor daddy ass and the Acclaimed in the ring, which is one of the most insane things I have ever experienced, and I genuinely know that I will never experience anything better than that moment.
That is awesome. That is such a great story to be able to tell. I love
Yes.
it.
The Acclaimed, top of the chain, so I bet you know the name.
I'm so glad you got to experience that. What a beautiful story. That's awesome.
That is so cool. So I know this will be our show. We won't have one before All In. So do we want to kind of give our picks, who we think is going to win the matches?
Yes.
Well, there's only 5 matches so far that are confirmed, right?
So, right. Yeah, so far we have Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor, and that's on the what is it called, 0 Hour show.
That's a given.
I predict Aussie Open
retains
obviously, because MJF and Adam Cole are gonna split with their title match.
It wouldn't make sense for them to win it.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's going to be an amazing match.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
So
it's going to be fun to watch. I'll tell you that.
Then we have Darby Allin and Sting versus AR Fox and Swerve in the coffin match.
Darby Allin and Sting, hands down.
Well, yeah, they have to.
Darby doesn't lose. No. That's just a matter of fact. Darby is good enough to not lose.
And Swerve,
Darby's amazing.
Swerve is so good as a heel. Oh my god,
he is.
And his ring work, I feel like people don't talk about Swerve's ring work enough. He is amazing with what he can do.
Yes, and I like that they're showing AR Fox. We don't know, but now learning his background a little bit and knowing, I think this match is. Every time they announce a match, I'm getting more and more excited for All In, because at first I was like, I don't know, but I'm like, this match, I mean, it's going to be good. But yeah, Sting can't lose. It's Sting.
Out of here. Sorry, my cat is.
Gotta love cats. What's your cat's name?
The women's 4-way.
This is Bullet.
Bullet.
Yes.
Bullet.
Yeah. The women's 4-way. Yeah. So Sheeta, Tony, we know Soraya's in it.
I think it's going to be Britt. Is the
I do too.
I do too.
I think if it's anyone else, it would be Saraya, but I think it's going to be Britt.
And originally, I thought Saraya until Kim, you convinced me. I think Britt wins. Soraya's good as a heel. I mean, I love her as a heel. So,
well, do you remember All Access? Britt said she didn't want the title again.
I know
that backstage politics and stress and everything.
All Access has been a little bit ago now, though. Things could have changed. She could have had enough time away from the title and missed that.
Yeah. But what if it's not Britt? What if Sheeta retains?
I wouldn't be upset at that. I will say this,
she's a great champion, too.
I'd rather see Britt as champ again rather than Sheeta.
Yeah, I do love Britt.
I got
That's
kind
awesome.
of burnt out on Sheeta for some reason. She's good. I know she's talented, but she's just unfortunately.
She's not. Maybe it's her mic work. I love Britt on the mic. Toni Storm though has been so good these last.
She's been on fire.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going to be really mad at honestly any of them.
Did you guys notice how quickly Toni went like fancy? Like her hair is more coiffed and she's fancy with her full girl. But I don't know where it's going. Like I like the vibe, but I'm like, it's weird. I don't know what like where it's going or what's going on with it. But she just like quickly went fancy. Like
I think the main goal is just to be pretentious and to show that she's better than the other women. I think that's all it really boils down to, and she is damn good at it.
Yeah. I know this wasn't part of the question, but I would love down the road to see Ruby Soho hold that title. I love Ruby.
I do too.
Maybe it's because she's a tattooed badass like me.
She is.
She also would be one that would be great in a tag team. Like I could see her and somebody
tag team.
Like, I don't know.
It has to be someone that has Ruby's style, though.
Yeah,
Ruby's style is different. So
that's true.
I'm trying to.
It has to be on like Ruby's level. Like they have to vibe. You know.
I know it's kind of a random.
We'll have to get back to that one.
Yeah,
it's kind of a random like shot in the dark, but I wouldn't mind to see Ruby do something with Abaddon. I know Abaddon's been gone for forever now, but I think that would be a cool matchup.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I follow her on Instagram. I think she's awesome. I don't know why we're not seeing her. I don't understand. Like, she needs to be showcased because she's badass. Like, and she's just unique and different and fun. And I'm like,
yes.
Why aren't we seeing her? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, we don't see her like at all, and I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just reading his comment.
I know. I was looking at Gary Joe. He wants Jamie to come back so bad, but everything I've seen looks like she's not going to be ready to come back at All In. Unfortunately, I don't know.
Not if her shoulder's that bad. I mean, she lost that match within 3 minutes because her shoulder was that bad. So you can't rush.
And it was an existing issue, which doesn't help.
Ooh, Elyse had a good AJ Lee and Ruby.
That'd be fun.
Interesting.
Just come to AEW first.
That would definitely be interesting.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she comes to AEW.
Yeah, hopefully. And then so FTR and the Bucks.
My Bucks, and hear me out real quick.
You know who I want.
I said this to Gary, and I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. I feel like it's going to be the Bucks, and the reason why is so they can hold the title for a little bit and pass it to the Hardys, because the Hardys were supposed to win it last year, and then that unfortunate situation happened with Jeff.
Yes.
And like, because the Hardys were supposed to get it, and then obviously we know the titles went elsewhere. But I feel like the Bucks are going to get it. The Bucks are going to have it for a little bit, and then it's going to go to the Hardys, because eventually the Hardys are going to retire in AEW. And Jeff's done so well, so let's give him the credit that he deserves, because I'm sure I've never had an addiction problem, but for anyone who's battling addiction, I'm sure that's a bitch to like conquer. So let's give Jeff the credit he deserves. But I feel like eventually it'll pass from the Bucks to the Hardys, because they have such respect for the Hardys, you know.
Well, and they kind of are setting that the Bucks Hardy, because they're doing, isn't it next week on Dynamite, Bucks Hardys?
Yeah.
So they start with them feuding, then they go to All In, Bucks win, and so then maybe even at All Out, have the Hardys challenge, and maybe not win it All Out, have the Bucks retain, and then whenever the next pay-per-view is after. I mean, you could build a good story with it.
I know some people are sad thinking like, oh, I don't want FTR to lose, but listen, FTR is signed for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So guess what? At some point they can win it back. But you know what? There are a lot of other great tag teams that haven't even had that chance to win. Like the Butcher and the Blade. The Best Friends have been here from the get-go. At some point, I want to see those Best Friends win, because you know what? No matter what, they're still all over. And everybody, hi, Denise. Honestly, a lot of people still love them, and I would love to see them win, because you know I love the Best Friends. And at some point, the Butcher and the Blade are badass, and I think at some point down the road they should win too. Like everybody, like, you know, who really puts in that effort should get that shot. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just being like, I come out, I wrestle, and then I go in the back. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like there's a lot of teams that deserve that like shot, like, you know, and I'm sure like for the past runs it kind of sucks because Chris has a belt and Orange Cassidy has a belt and they're just kind of like,
right.
I feel bad for them.
They've been waiting.
Exactly.
And they're great. They really are great.
Definitely good enough. They should have had the titles at this point, in my opinion. But I think it's definitely still a possibility. But I think for sure it needs to work out the way that Vicky has laid it out with the Bucks winning.
Yes.
Plus, I know Rhonda and I will
moving
be like,
on to the Hardys.
I will be.
I was such a little kid. I'm like, my Bucks. Kenny and Bucks. I'm like, I'm such a child.
Listen, when Adam Cole debuted at that pay-per-view, my husband and I were literally jumping up and down screaming in our bed. Like, we were like, oh my God!
Do you remember when he came back and nobody knew it? Like, and Tony's like, it gives me no pleasure to announce this next season. And it's like, it's all about the boom. I'm like, because nobody knew he was going. I was like, ah! You know, excited. Because, and you know what's crazy? When I met him too, let me tell you, he's the most precious guy I've ever met. So friggin' sweet. And I said, listen, I didn't care if you ever wrestled again. I was like, I just wanted you to be okay, just like millions of other fans. And he's just like, he's so sweet. He's like, that means so much. And I was like, he is the sweetest guy I've ever met. And even Britt is so sweet and so cool.
She
I'm
is
like,
also nice.
And I told him, I go, you guys are the cutest couple ever. And I hope someday when Adam like wins the belt, he like proposes to Britt in like the ring, because that would be like the cutest thing ever.
Sob.
I want that for them.
Yes, me too.
I just love to
would
see other
bawl my
people
eyes
happy.
out.
I love to see people thrive and have like, you know, amazing experiences. Like, I just love to see people happy and have like success and shit. Like, I love other people being happy. Like, good things happen and stuff like that. So I hope it happens for them.
Me too.
We are over 1,000 viewers.
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, Timothy Gonzalez just mentioned Private Party. And
well, Mark Quinn's still injured, isn't he?
I think so. But Isaiah Cassidy, oh my God, when he screams like a girl, that is like my favorite thing. I love it so much.
Dude, when he gets thrown anywhere, that scream, you're like,
I know.
It's funny. He's funny. That's what I said, Elyse. That's what I said. I'm like, when he wins that title, he's going to propose to Britt, and it's going to be so beautiful. I'm probably going to cry like a little girl because I get, you know, I get emotional when it comes to seeing people happy and doing great things. So I just see it happen. But no, like Isaiah, when he screams, it's just the funniest thing. I'm like, he gets like, so like 10 feet there, and he's like, it's so funny.
And you know who else is underrated? Ethan Page. I love
Ethan Page is so good. And his mic work, he can cut a promo. He is so good.
Yeah. Gary met him and said he's really cool. And Gary was on his like his video podcast. Like, he has a YouTube channel. So Gary was on that. So
I've got to meet him a couple times, and he's one or two times. I don't know at this point. So much has happened. But he is very nice, and I bring it up anytime I'm talking about him. He smells so good. He is a person that, like, whatever cologne he wears, he smells so good.
That's good, because if he stunk, that would suck. He'd be like, nice to meet you.
Ethan Page does deserve a title.
Yes.
He'll get his shot. I feel like it'll definitely be the TNT way before it'd be the world title, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Henry said Tyler.
Even the not all Atlantic. What's it called? I suck. Wait. Shut up. No.
What's the Darby incident?
Private. I'll tell the girls backstage.
Okay.
No.
I will remind you to tell us.
You don't have to. I will tell you. So HTE is not ready for that story. Fucking Gary.
Of course, the main event is MJF.
Wait, Gary, I have something for you. Wait, hold on. I will tell the girls. Down the road, HTE, I will tell you the story about Darby, but now getting real tired of your shit, Gary.
My God, who the hell cares?
You and I are gonna have some fucking words when we're done with this shit. We're gonna have some words, Gary.
You are going to get your fucking head kicked in!
I'd love to see you try. I'd love to see you try. Hey.
Pardon me, gentlemen. Excuse me, but I have an announcement here.
Shut up, somebody!
This is getting intense.
That's a shitty opinion. It's the most bullshit opinion I've ever heard.
I'm tired of your shit. All right? You're lucky you're backstage.
And
prick.
Kelly mentioned Wardlow being off TV, and of course, I mean, who doesn't miss Wardlow being on TV?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Denise. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Denise. Yeah,
that's sweet.
I personally think, I don't know, Vic, did everybody watch Collision last night?
No, Henry. Not yet.
Did.
You're not ready for it. You're not ready for it. God damn it.
Ricky made a statement last night. My husband, Henry, he thinks I'm wrong, but Ricky said war is coming. I think Ricky and Wardlow are going to do something. I
did not catch on to that, but since you pointed out, I mean, AEW loves to throw in those little tidbits like that, so I wouldn't be surprised.
And I mean, I do love me some Ricky Starks too. So
yes,
him and Wardlow could be great together.
Ricky is so good. He is on another level of good.
It honestly pisses me off when people compare him to The Rock. I mean, I'm not really that big of a Rock fan. So I'm just saying.
He's good as an actor.
Well, yeah, but I didn't actually watch that other show when he was on there. I watched it before then, and then after him.
What show?
What show? And I think Ricky is.
You know what, Henry? Gary, look at the shit that you started. You had to open.
Henry is blowing you up now.
I know.
I'll tell the fucking smell story when the girls are done. All right. God damn it.
So Adam Cole, MJF. Does MJF retain? Does Adam Cole?
I think that's when Adam Cole's going to turn on him.
I think MJF retains. He is still just too hot right now with this title. He's not cooled off enough. And I feel like if they take it from him now, it's going to leave a sour taste. And it's going to diminish Adam Cole's run as champion.
Yeah, I think MJF retains, and I think Cole turns and becomes a faction with the Kingdom, which the Kingdom, I think, is way underrated too. I love the Kingdom, and I want to see more of them.
Gary doesn't stand a chance against me.
0. Yeah. Mike Bennett, I'm just a huge fan of his. If you don't follow him on Twitter, he's just an awesome human being. So
he's from Boston. That's my neck of the woods.
Ah, okay.
Nice.
So I really like him, and I actually got to meet his wife Maria on a heel event. The Heels do calls monthly, and we got to meet her, and she's phenomenal. So
is it a Facebook page? It's like Heels Facebook page, or
I want to join this.
I did too.
It's I'll get you after we're done here. I'll get you guys' info, and I'll send you the information.
Okay. Or if you want, you could just like definitely, as I say, if you want to send it in our chat,
in our messenger. Yeah, I'll send you guys the info.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Kim, with them coming to, if you're going to the show in Kentucky, they'll have a meet and greet. And what if you're a Heels member, whatever woman it's the meet and greet, it's free to Heels members.
Shut up.
It's
He called you mid, Gary.
That is awesome.
So
you're mid.
Mid.
Mid. You know what? Before I get to the smell story, let's talk about Hook. What do we think is going to go down with Hook? You remember that, like, the last thing we saw is like Hook was in like the subway and they had Hook and had him the belt, and then the belt was gone, and then Hook was gone.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Hook is going to come back and destroy anything and everything in his path.
Red rum that bitch.
Pick.
Yeah.
I love Hook. I'm sorry. He doesn't.
He
have
is
to
so
much,
good.
Cool.
Henry says
he's
Grand
a sexy
Slam
fucker. I said what I said. You know what I mean?
Grand Slam Dynamite is when
cool.
Hook comes back.
I'm looking forward to
Jack
it.
Up.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I think he puts like meaning into that title. And obviously, maybe it didn't mean shit to anybody else, but it obviously meant a lot to Taz for him to create that belt and to carry it and to do what he did with it, and then for him to like have that go to his son, like that meant a lot to him. He's pissed. He's just like, fuck Jack Perry. You know what I mean? He says it like every time Jack comes out. He's like, you know, he's just gunning for him, so he can't wait for his son to come back and fuck his shit up, and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just. So Hook's gonna come. I swear he's like gonna come back with like a vengeance. I don't know how high his hair is gonna stick up this time, but I'm just like,
it's gonna be 3 feet taller.
It's just like up. Like
I don't know how he does it. Like
it's just like it's like a. I'm like, dude, just up
no
there.
clue.
Like, how do you do it? Like, I wouldn't be able to have all that hair like in my face. I mean, he's just like up there. It's funny.
My husband wants either Bully Ray or Tommy Dreamer to come to AEW to defend ECW.
Gary, you're a mess.
I'm Hook's hooker.
Which one do you think would come first? If either one, if any of them were going to come?
I don't know. I mean, they both are still wrestling, so it's not a stretch. And they, you know,
that's Impact, right?
Well, I think they both. Henry, do they both wrestle? Are they both on Impact, Henry? We'll see. He'll know. I think so. And Tommy, Tommy Dreamer was on AEW before. So
yeah, he was. I remember. Okay.
Bully Ray apparently shits on AEW.
Well, then you're not welcome in AEW.
I think the reason he shits on AEW is because he really wants to
be it.
Yes. Like it's kind of like an ego thing. I think he really wants
kind of like when guys are like mean to a girl when they have a crush on them.
Yeah, like
he's got third grade.
He's got a crush on AEW and he wants to be a part of it. And honestly, he's got a great wrestling
like,
line.
I hate you, but like, I don't give a fuck.
But I think they need to keep. I mean, RVD's great, but I think they need to keep, you know, bringing some more ECW guys in. Let's have them.
I wouldn't mind to see it.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely space within the climate of the company and how they run things to let things get a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Every now and again. Which they've already
probably
done
thought
before.
It was different than he expected, and then he showed up and realized it was probably like a way more positive environment than he like thought. You know,
not toxic like every promotion used to be.
Or one in particular. I said what I said.
Say it.
Say it loud and proud. So, but yeah. Should I tell the smell story since
I
put my ass on blast?
Tell the story. Come on.
All right.
Hi, Terry.
You know, it was a meet and greet in Albany at Heroes Hideout. And, you know, Darby's one of the people that I met there. So, and anytime I meet one of the wrestlers, I ask them for permission if I could put my arm around them for the picture because I'm respectful.
Yeah.
So the moment that I put my arm around Darby and touched him, he just kind of started like mumbling shit. He's like, I'm like, are you all right? Like mumbling incoherently, like talking to me, like I made him nervous. And I was like, are you okay? Like, and he's just like, oh, I just kind of like throw on this random cologne. I don't know what to do. I was like, okay. Like, I was like, are you worried about how you smell or something? He's like, I was like, and I was like, I smelled him. I'm like, you smell fine. I'm like, do you want to smell me? And he's like, so he smelled my perfume. He's like, oh, that smells really good. And then we started talking about my perfume and where he could get it. So we had like a dog smelling moment. And then we bonded. It was a great moment. You're welcome, Gary.
I'm not gonna lie.
Fucking happy.
I'm a little bit jealous, Vicky.
Yeah.
I would have liked it if he'd done a little bit more than smelled me. Gary, I'm tired of your fucking shit. I'm so fucking tired of your shit. So yeah, no, so but I also got to meet Sammy Guevara, and I got to meet Santana and Ortiz, and let me tell you, I walked right up to Sammy and I was like, Sammy Guevara. I couldn't help it. And he's like, I love your energy. I'm like, I love your energy. And I asked if we could do like the Jericho pose. And he was so sweet. He was so cool. And then the first thing I said to Santana Ortiz, I'm like, I fucking hated you guys. You were so annoying. Like, you guys sucked. I was like, but now I totally love you guys. Like, Ortiz is so like bubbly and positive and outgoing, but Santana's like a little bit more reserved. But like, it was like just really cool to meet them. So like, it was just great, and I just like had a blast. But yeah, that was my Darby moment. But like, no, he was so cool. But he was just like like once I put my arm around, he just like nervously started like babbling, and I'm like, why are you fucking nervous? Like, I'm meeting you. Like, I'm just nobody, and you're just like, you're fucking Darby Allin. You're like nervously babbling to me, and I'm like, what? But it's just like, I think he was worried about like how his cologne smells, and like if I was gonna be like, oh, you stink, I can't touch you. I'm like, you still stunk, I'd touch you. Like, but then like he really liked the smell of my perfume, and I was like, smell away. So that was like our little smelling.
My husband now says his new move is going to be to ask if the wrestlers think they smell. So you can smell them.
Oh, you can smell the guys and like the way you smell. I'm gonna do a lot more to Kenny Omega than smell him. I didn't say that. Oh shit, this is going on YouTube. Fuck. If you see this, Kenny, I'm just kidding.
All of this is recorded with over 1,000 viewers, but it's okay.
I'm just as shocked by what comes out of my mouth as you guys, okay? I cannot be held legally responsible. You said we can say whatever we want. Shut up.
You gave us free reign, Gary Joe.
I can and not will be censored. I'm like the MJF of the group. Maybe it's because I'm the Jew, but you know. See, I'm the Jew.
Oh,
I wasn't kidding. I really am the Jew. The
Goodness.
So I think we have a couple questions.
He smelled me first.
Somebody asked Jade again, and I think we had kind of touched on that. I mean, if she comes back, great. If not, great. I mean, right now we have such a great women's division that I think they need tag team titles. That's I'm gonna just make a sign for that says we need women's tag team. So
you probably did. You missed your opportunity to say hi. We talked about this, girl. We talked about this.
Yeah.
You were like, hi. Are you okay?
Yeah.
And
yeah. That's why I always have my drink nearby. So I'm like,
yeah.
I think I got like a cat hair or something in my throat, but I'm good.
That's possible.
Terry Brown is asking what we think is going to happen with the Kingdom and Adam Cole. And we kind of talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Especially when Adam Cole turns, that's when he's going to like reconnect with Roddy and the Kingdom, and then form like the strong faction. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what's
that
gonna
could
happen.
wind up being pretty powerful.
You're not weird, Elyse. You're
if
perfect.
I had to guess.
I do think also, you know, Kyle O'Reilly has been out injured,
Mhm.
so he could make a return. I mean, there's a lot of ways they can go with.
I would love for Adam to lose.
That would be a
join
really good match, Tim.
And then O'Reilly come back.
Yeah.
I think once O'Reilly comes back, that will really kick things into high gear with them.
Yep.
Punk.
Samoa Joe or Punk, because they're obviously pushing a feud, you know, with them after.
Probably Punk. It
Yeah,
just is what
Samoa
it is.
always wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Samoa Joe, but it's realistically probably going to be Punk.
Because he wins like every friggin' match. You know, it's very rare that he loses.
I hate the neck brace. I tell my fiance this every time I see him on TV. I don't know why, but it gets under my skin.
He should just bedazzle that shit. You're gonna wear it.
That would be
make
better.
It interesting.
Yes.
And put some bling on that
Let
shit.
someone draw on it. Like if you ever like had a cast and people would like sign their names and stuff, go around the locker room.
He
and
needs
do
to
that.
put jealous boyfriend. I'm sorry, when MJF did that, I was like, oh shit. It was funny. It was funny. I'm sorry. Like, MJF is just like, man, he fucking kills it on the mic. He just says whatever the fuck he's thinking, whatever, kind of like me. Sorry. Yeah, he just says whatever's like on his mind, whatever he's thinking. And it's funny, you know, it's just like, he doesn't give a shit, you know?
He is
definitely... No, don't sell neck braces. You just need to sell the Lascos.
Lord.
MJF's facial expressions even are so good. Like, he just has the greatest, like...
He knows how to be present on the TV.
Yes.
He knows how to work the crowd. He knows exactly what to say, and he says it with his full chest. He is one of the best people on the mic that I've ever witnessed in my lifetime.
Okay, so Clint said, what about a dynasty reunion? So who was the dynasty?
Damn right I would.
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's like MJF doesn't have a lot of friends or anyone that respects him. So Gary said something about him reuniting with FTR, and I was like,
because what were they called? FTR. They were
the Pinnacle.
The Pinnacle.
Yeah.
I kind of missed the Pinnacle just a little bit.
It would be different if they reunited because MJF doesn't really have anybody in his corner.
No.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know who to think of.
That's why I'm hoping they maybe start to turn him a little bit after All In. I'm hoping they start to change his direction a little bit since he doesn't have anyone in his corner and hasn't up until this point.
Well, if FTR loses the titles, it would make sense if they join his corner. Like, you know, and kind of reform the Pinnacle in a way. Like, so he has somebody in his corner because pretty much he wouldn't have anyone because Cole turns on him and then they reform like that, you know, so it just would kind of, you know, make sense.
But I
the
feel
Dynasty
like it's
and
hard
I never watched that, so I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know who Richard Holiday is.
Was that the independent leagues? Because
MLW, yeah.
Gotcha. I feel like it would be a little bit difficult speaking of Wardlow. I feel like it would be hard to try to bring the Pinnacle back together in some capacity because Wardlow just won't fit into that picture anymore.
And I think something's gonna happen with Wardlow and Ricky. I just the way Ricky is also one that's good on the mic, and when if you go back and listen to what he said last night, he emphasized the word war. He didn't say Wardlow, but he emphasized the word war. And as soon as he said it, I turned to my husband and I said, Wardlow is going to team with him. And my husband's like, no, you're wrong. And so I want to be right because I want to prove my husband wrong. But
don't we all?
Apparently, he's having travel issues, according to Sean Ross Sapp.
Yeah, because when they did the storyline where his car was broken into, it really was broken into. His passport was stolen. So he wasn't able to go to Canada and that kind of stuff. So
But yeah, they like broke in and took everything. It was like,
yeah.
rude.
Let's see here. Timothy asked how we are enjoying the commentary team on Collision. I'm neither really here nor there about it. They have their moments, but I'm honestly so used to the Wednesday announce team that I don't mind it, but there's not really anything that's standing out from it. They do their job and they do it well. That's ultimately what matters, is they get the point across and they're good at that. But I don't know if it's just since there's not really been enough time yet with them and like building that foundation and everything, but it's just what it is.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see a woman on commentary.
I would too. And I think Collision would be a great time to do it. Put Renee on the commentary table. Put Renee Paquette on commentary.
She's spicy. I like it.
I love Renee. Mm-hmm. She's one too that when she's been interviewing like MJF, the faces she makes,
she's
like,
so good.
Yeah, I love her.
Absolutely. Sorry, I had to plug my iPad in, or it was gonna like die on you guys, and I'm like, sorry.
Kevin Kelly is coming back.
Yeah, Ian's going back to Ring of Honor, I think.
I like Ian.
Yeah. I mean, I love Shivani.
We know Gary loved him.
Shivani is my favorite. Shivani is just the best.
Yeah. And Excalibur.
Excalibur knows his shit.
I love when he releases the man in the mask.
Oh, David said Renee said she hated doing commentary when she tried it in WWE. Okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Really?
So
Shut up, Shivani.
Ian's. I do love Daddy Magic. I feel like he's way underutilized.
I don't want to know what makes his nipples hard. Thank you.
No.
I don't care. Keep that to yourself.
Hi, David.
That's okay. Welcome.
Yeah. Jay Lethal. We haven't really talked about him, but I think he's really good too.
Yeah.
He's another one that I'm not really here nor there on. He's good. I don't mind when I see him on TV, but I think the faction that he's currently with makes it really hard for me to like want to pay attention to it, if that makes sense.
I don't really care for Jeff Jarrett.
I don't either, and I always feel like the odd person out for that, but I'm just not a fan.
No. I love Sanjay
Dutton. You won't be the last.
Sanjay Dutton is so funny.
I don't care for.
I don't like him either.
You don't like him either?
I find him. I know it's his job to be annoying. I know that is why he is on the screen, but he does it so good to the point that I'm just like, it's annoying. It's not just annoying from the entertainment perspective for me. He's just annoying.
Ooh, hey, Alex. Alex is joining us from London.
Hi, Alex.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
No, Clint. I can't stand Double J either. Ugh. And Karen Jarrett. Oh.
I can't stand his wife.
Oh, yeah. No.
Karen is something else.
Shut up,
Karen is a Karen. If you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
every time she opens her mouth, I'm like,
she just sounds like a bird squawking.
Deathmatch on Dynamite.
I remember when the crowd was yelling at her to shut up too. It's like, take a cue, honey, take a cue.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Jeff Hardy has to win next week against in that Texas, and I guess they're doing that Texas Chainsaw Death Match because there's a new Texas Chainsaw movie coming out or something, and I don't know, some
just
sort
like
of
branded for that.
Something. Yeah. So
yeah.
I agree. I think Hardy will win.
Yeah, I think he should. I mean, we were just talking about how they need to put he deserves to be put over. So, video game. Thanks, Clint. It's a video game. I don't know much about video games.
Gary Joe is
I
a
don't play
sports
them.
entertainer. That's funny. So I want to ask an opinion. How do y'all feel about Don Callis?
I hate Don Callis.
Okay.
Fucking annoying.
Me
I just want to
too.
smack him in his bald head.
Me too.
How dare he hurt my Kenny?
Exactly.
He's a snake.
It was
the nerve of you.
He's a great heel, that's for sure, and he gets the crowd going.
But he
so-
plays such a good heel too.
well.
I'm like,
I'm honestly hoping that Jericho does not join them next week. I hope something. I don't know. I'm just hoping he doesn't join.
well, definitely make it seems like it's going in that direction. You know?
Henry, I also hate Don's shoes. And Jericho's shoes, if we're going to talk about
his
those.
pants. Are you waiting for a flood? Like, up with your pants. He's wearing capris. All right? That's a chick thing. Like, you're always wearing capris with your sparkly shoes. They don't match.
Henry, I don't expect JAS to stay together. That's just me personally. I feel like it's time that everyone gets to have their own spot.
It served its purpose, and it's done, you know.
Yeah. I just
you take that back.
How is it Kenny's fault?
It's not Kenny's fault. How dare you?
Kenny's
How dare
not
you?
done anything. I also don't know if that means that Jericho will join Dawn. I suspect that if anything, maybe Jericho will try to run around with Dawn for a little bit, and then something's gonna happen. Dawn's gonna screw up and do something that Jericho doesn't like, since Jericho's pretty full of himself, as we know.
Yeah.
And I think that's just gonna kind of leave
Jericho
him
versus
hanging
Ospreay.
in the wind on his own.
Ospreay is too intense for Jericho at this age.
Yeah, they're like two different calibers, in my opinion.
Alex, are you going
Yeah,
to?
like, Jericho's great, but he's also older now, and Ospreay is too intense for him now. You know?
Yeah.
That's just my
Alex,
opinion,
are you
though.
going to
Not saying
Wembley?
Jericho's not great. He is, but Ospreay's full of energy. You know?
Thank you, Henry. Yeah, Alex, are you going to Wembley?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I like Jericho, but I think Ospreay. I'm sorry, Ospreay's above and beyond.
It's
nice. It should be Kenny versus Ospreay.
That'd be like, if, in my opinion, that'd be like seeing Jericho and Omega, and they're two different sectors. Not to knock on Jericho and what he can do at all, but it is just the matter of the fact that he's at a later stage in his career than these other younger guys are. And it's just, I don't want it to turn around and make Jericho look bad necessarily, because he's not bad, but that's just a different level than what I feel like he really should handle at this point, whether or not he can.
I agree with you, Kim, honestly, because Jericho puts a lot of people over, but that would make him look bad, because Ospreay would demolish him. You know, because I mean, Jericho's in his 50s now. I'm not saying that he's not still in great shape and doing great, but Ospreay is so young and so like full blown energy. It just, the match doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. There's no storyline. It wasn't building up. It's not like they had beef or anything happen. Like, it would just be like thrown together, you know?
So Clint asked a good question. Who should be in the main event picture that hasn't been in it yet for both the men and women?
I am a huge fan of Big Bill. I actually
he was on HTE this morning.
He what?
Hey,
He was on AEW this morning. Does
he
anyone watch
was?
RJ
Oh
City?
yeah, RJ
I
City.
love RJ. So funny.
I want to see more of RJ. Put RJ on commentary. I'd love that.
He's just funny, spicy.
Yeah.
I love him. I want to meet RJ.
So
I love RJ.
Big Bill, he was a part of a tag team that my husband and I loved that was in WWE.
What was it with
Enzo Amore
I can't
and
think of the name of
Big
the team.
Cass. What was the tag Henry? What was the tag team? What were they called? Yeah, Enzo and Big Cass and
just Enzo and Big Cass.
I don't know what they called themselves, but
I can't remember.
They were just
Enzo and Cass.
Yeah. So, but I just think Big Bill is good, and they're not really using him to, I don't know.
Yeah. You take that back, Timothy.
Maybe put him, him and Wardlow in a match together.
Ooh, I would like to see that.
I don't know. I just think he's so good. Yes, and they used to say soft. SAWFT.
And you can't teach that.
and Enzo would say, if I had so many dimes, I'd have. It was just, he was always funny.
I personally, I'll go back to Ethan Page. Put a world title on that man. He needs a title at this point. As far as women, I know Willow has the strong title. I wouldn't mind to see her as AEW Women's World Champ. She is getting very good, very fast. And I also will mention, I'm very excited to see what all happens between her and Chris moving forward as a tag team. I think that could be a really good tag team if they were to make it official.
Yeah. Because they called them Saturday Nightingale.
Yes.
Night, and I love that. I see a shirt saying Saturday Nightingale. I mean, that's why I'm saying women's tag team titles. I will say it. I will yell it from the rooftops.
We need it bad. I think if they were to do that, that would be the push that the division needs.
Henry mentioned, somebody else had asked about Anna Jay, which I think she is underutilized. But, her and Jack Perry are actually a couple in real life. So, now that he's turned heel and she's already kind of a heel, put them on screen together. Let's make a little magic happen.
I'm a little bit hesitant with the idea of that, just because when Sammy and Ty got together, the dynamic definitely shifted.
Yeah.
And it's really hit or miss. Sometimes putting a couple on TV like that will do wonders for their career and their time on the TV. But I feel like it could be a little bit problematic just because both Anna Jay and Jack Perry still have plenty of work that they need to do on the mic. They're still not quite where they could be with promos. Not to say they're bad. I mean, you can tell that they're getting better the more that they do it. But I feel like if they were to ever get put together on screen, give them a little bit more time.
I do say that Jack as a heel is better than Jungle Boy. I like him. I love him as a heel. I don't know why.
I agree.
And I think he's gotten, Steven said he's terrible on the mic, but I think he's made leaps and bounds as a heel on the mic.
Yes, he feels more comfortable, it seems. Like it comes more naturally to him.
Yeah.
Same with Anna. She seems a lot more comfortable in her element as a heel.
Yes.
Well, Sammy and Ty, their situation was different.
Yes.
So the fans were extremely harsh and critical for them. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's like what happens obviously
Privately.
in their private life. First of all, their private life is none of your business. So
Exactly.
Right.
keep your nose out of it. So like you said, they were just, the fans were brutal towards them. You know what I mean? But like Anna and Jack was like, it's a whole different situation. So I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? I mean,
Right.
we'll just have to see like if it goes that route at all. I mean, just time will tell.
Yes, Jack Perry needs better intro music, Clint. And
Oh,
I
God.
love the idea pairing Jack with Don Callis.
Ooh.
Why?
Ooh.
No, Don Callis.
Ooh.
But
I don't know how I
Only if
feel
he
about
changes his
that.
But the hate, I mean, Jack Perry's getting booed, Don Callis gets booed. If you put them together,
No,
that
there's a
whole
difference.
arena is gonna erupt in boos.
The whole arena hates Don Callis. Like,
Yes.
you can't even hear him on the mic. Like, it's just like an eruption that like engulfs him, and it's like he has to like keep trying to talk louder, and it's just like, oh my God, it's just like deafening. And I'm just like, that's what you get. At
So
least you can still hear Jack.
Timothy asked, what about John Silver and Hook? I will say, Dark Order, they are my boys. I love the Dark Order. I was really worried there for a bit that they were going to split up after Brody passed, of course, but they're still trucking pretty
They managed to hang
decently,
on.
it seems.
Gotta give them credit.
I feel like maybe John Silver and Hook are not the best matchup.
I don't think so.
They're
complete opposites.
Two complete different styles.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind to see it just as a one-off match, just to get them both on the TV, but I feel like there are bigger and better things that both of them could be doing.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd like
Yes, rest in peace, Brody Lee.
I feel like the Dark Order doesn't really have a leader and so what I kind of had this coming in what about Danhausen coming back and the Dark Order? I mean,
which Danhausen, of course, is kind of stuck with the best friends.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind to see it.
Dan Order.
That would fit.
Yeah, Dan Order.
Dan Order.
I think it would
join the
fit.
Dan Order.
I also, I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I kind of have this idea of someone from outside of the company who's not signed yet. Just someone completely out of the normal, out of what you would expect for someone to join. I want someone to come in and take reign of the Dark Order again. I feel like if they have someone put back in that position of power over them, since there's been enough time since Brody, I think that could maybe give them a little bit more momentum, because of course lately they've been running the storyline of going back to the old days of recruiting themselves and trying to bring people in, and just like previously,
damn, Tim, you don't like anyone.
It's not the most effective way. So if someone could come in and be a leader for them again, Bray Wyatt would be. I'd be down for that, but I don't see Bray Wyatt ever joining the company.
I don't either.
He seems like a forever person with the other company.
Matt Hardy's old character, my husband
Damascus.
Henry thought when Brody Lee came, he thought it was going to be Matt Hardy coming to lead them.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I just love Danhausen. And obviously he's injured, but I just feel like he needs something.
Once he comes back, I hope they do something with him more than just a comedy spot, because he is good in the ring.
Yes.
I really enjoy his ring work, and I feel like comedy wrestlers don't really get to be highlighted as far as
and they don't really get. He doesn't really get that respect. They make him a joke a little bit, and
right.
And plus, the fans love him.
Yes, he's so over.
You still see people in the crowd with signs for him, with their faces painted like his. I mean, he's a definite seller of merchandise.
Yes.
So that's the one thing I hate about them breaking up. Adam Cole and MJF is the merchandise has been amazing.
Yes, and also the combination of the entrance music.
Yes,
oh my
that
god,
was
so cool,
badass.
Like Adam Cole. I know, it was so cool. Thank you.
Eric Young as a Dark Order leader.
Oh,
now, wasn't he with the Wyatt family in WWE?
Is that Redbeard?
Is that Redbeard?
Yes.
Okay, so
he made like an appearance.
Yes, maybe.
Right?
Wasn't he on AEW once? Or
he did. Who was his
no?
tag team
I'm
partner?
thinking of
They brought him
Eric
in.
Rowan.
Oh,
That's
you're
thinking of
okay.
is Rowan.
I think it was because of Eric. That's what we're like thinking.
Yeah.
I can't remember who his partner was. They're like, oh, we brought someone in too, and like Eric was the partner, and I just can't remember who the hell it was. I mean, so much has happened in AEW, so it's kind of hard to just sit back and you're like,
thanks, babe, for keeping us informed.
Eric Young was the leader of Violent by Design and Impact. Okay.
I remember the jar of teeth. He just dumped it in the ring.
I know.
Yeah, picking that up.
Danhausen went evil, and then I'm just saying,
who's picking that shit up?
Yeah, Redbeard he had made an appearance in the company a couple years ago, so I wouldn't be mad if he came back.
Yeah, I just can't remember who he tagged with.
I can't either. I can't remember what his matches were.
Yeah, because he was like, "Oh, we have a surprise guest who, or we have our own." So I can't even remember. You know, I bet you if we just Googled it, we'd be like,
"Oh yeah, exactly."
Like, and it's like it's funny, like, because we've just seen so much and so much has happened. Like, you just like, I remember that. Like, but like you don't think about it at the time, so you like go back again. You're like, yeah, that was cool. You know. Oh my god, that thing was just.
You'd rather see Bullet Club Gold than Danhausen.
Why are you hating on Danhausen? Why are you hating on everybody?
It's not even fair to like mention both of them in the same sentence. Compare
them.
They're completely different.
Bullet Club Gold is. I mean, they're pretty good. I do love them.
I know, right?
Tim, you're banned.
Why are you so angry? Who hurt you? Jesus. See, even the dog doesn't like your answers. Hell no, you didn't. No. And nothing is my fault.
Apologies.
Okay? Bang Bang Club. Oh, you're fine.
It's Tim's bad juju.
Brian Johnson to AEW or Ring of Honor. I don't know.
Either or.
I don't know.
It's all AEW either way. Oh my goodness.
Guns up.
The Bang Bang Club.
Yeah, sorry, Tim. My dog did not agree with you.
We know.
Yeah.
You're causing a ruckus, Tim. Knock your shit off. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
like, what haven't we talked about?
I'm trying to think. What
we have talked about everything.
Yeah.
How do you feel just in general about there being 3 shows a week on TV?
I love it.
I do too.
I do too. And I'll say this. Give WWE a run for their money.
No,
add another show.
No.
Put a show
Darby
in on
is a
Tuesday
lone
or
wolf.
something.
Darby's a lone wolf. No, he would not be the Dark Order leader.
No, not Darby. No,
As for the 3 shows, I watch Dynamite live, but I record, like I DVR Dynamite and Collision only so I can fast forward through the commercials. Only because I've been so busy. I've been doing so many things that like I don't really have time to sit down. But I always watch it. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah, we do too.
The smelling. I love how that's the first thing. Like that was the first thing we talked about when we got on. Like that was like, That was way down. That was like 75% in. Seriously. Look what you did, Gary.
Yeah, that's Gary's fault.
We're going to talk, Gary. We're going to talk.
Gary is quick with these responses.
Gary, go fuck yourself.
What's our favorite show of the three? Dynamite, Rampage, Collision.
Collision has been mine as of late, but before then it was Dynamite.
For me, it's Dynamite.
Me and my fiance were talking about this a little bit ago. You can tell a clear difference between Dynamite and Collision.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite feels much more about the sports entertainment side of it, whereas Collision feels much more about the technicality of it all. And I love that they're getting to that point where they can start to have those differences.
Yeah. I think Collision has been great. I love how they start it. I love how it starts with the different people, but I also love Dynamite because Dynamite's the show that we get to see live, and then Rampage, of course, they do at the same time. So maybe if I go to a live Collision, that'll change. But right now, I'm still a Dynamite girl, I think.
The only problem I'm having. Oh, I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
The only
what I was going to say was not important. You go ahead.
No, it is important. It's just I just wanted to get this out because I just forget everything. So that wasn't the point of the three shows, was to be able to showcase as many wrestlers as possible. And I feel like we're showing the same wrestlers over and over again, mainly on Collision. It's like, I get it. We have a lot of FTR, we have CM Punk, but I feel like we're showcasing the same thing. It's like recycling. But it's like, I want it to continue to change up. Like, I want to see more of different wrestlers. Like, we never see Abaddon. We keep talking about that. Like, I want to see her on, like, I don't give a shit which show she's on. I just want to see her. But I want them to keep changing up the talent. So it's like, we have 3 shows. Isn't this the point of it? So we have like a multitude of different wrestlers, like male and female, performing on those shows, and not just the same ones for each show, because then it's just completely irrelevant. It's pointless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just what I think, you know?
Yes. What I was going to touch on a second ago, and we've actually gotten a couple questions now, and I saw we got one earlier at the start of it that we had managed to miss, but what our opinions are if AEW decides at any point to do a brand split with separate rosters. I hope that they never do that, and I also doubt that they will ever do that, because the second that they do, you're gonna look like your competitor.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
even
one
that,
of the
just
few things that
sure
separates you logistically.
If you have separate rosters, don't keep using the same people in that roster. Split it up, like, you know, keep, like, almost like, you know, bingo, like, pull different people out, like, you know, showcase them, so that way the people that like even Sonny Kiss is saying, like, I don't really get to perform anymore on, you know, any of the shows, and I'd like to be more involved in a storyline. And I don't care what anybody says. I love Sonny Kiss, like, spicy, you know, fun and entertaining. Like, I just want to see, like, more of the wrestlers, you know, that are in the rosters be able to perform, like, in these shows, like, not just the same 5, 6, 7 of them. Like, show them up, show them why they're in AEW, instead of just being like background wallflowers. You know what I mean? Like, show them up, like, or else why are they here? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it has to be more than just the bigger names.
If you look at the other company, they have a brand split supposedly, but they still
flip flop.
Yeah. So it's I think there should not be a brand split.
Well, no, not like splitting who's supposed to be on Dynamite or Rampage, or just saying, but like the rosters that are actually meant for those shows, like,
rotating
show them more. Like, you know, not just the same 5, but like show them more. You know what I mean? So basically, that's what I mean. Like, not split them up. Like, have people that are supposed to be on Dynamite go to Collision, and Collision go to Dynamite or to Rampage. But you know what I mean? Just like show more talent. Like, not just the same 5. You know?
Exactly.
Real quick, Dean asked
Hey, Dean.
what our opinions were on CM Punk, or not Dean, it was Clint. My apologies. Clint was not here for when we discussed CM Punk versus the Elite, if we think that will ever happen. I do
Eventually.
not. I
Maybe.
think if they do, it's going to take a little bit more time, but I just don't realistically see it happening. I think they'd both rather just move on and try to just deal with other things.
I mean, we never know. Never say never, because we get thrown
Yeah.
swerves all the time. So who knows? I mean, it could happen, but I feel like unless they've gotten their shit together and agree to be, you know, mature adults and be like, listen, you know, let's work together and like move on from that shit. Like, let's not let it interfere with our lives and our professional lives and personal lives, and just, you know, let it go. You know, if they can work together and be okay with it, or if they decide this is why we're on separate rosters, but we can still work together and be civil, because they're still going to see each other. CM Punk has been on Dynamite. So at some point they're going to walk past each other. You know what I mean? Let's be civil. So it could happen. Who knows? I mean, I never say never,
Well,
you know?
It would be money. That would sell seats faster than anything.
It would be crazy.
And I wouldn't mind to see it, even with my dislike of Punk. That would be interesting, regardless of what happens in that match. I just think that CM Punk is still a little too high in his own britches to work up the courage to do that yet.
Yeah. Alex thinks it'll happen by the end of the year. Oh, Alex he said he thinks it'll happen by the end of the year. And I was wondering, you know, the next they're going to do a pay-per-view sometime, and it's in LA. Is it? I don't remember which one.
Double or Nothing.
So would that be the pay-per-view to do it at in LA?
If there's going to be one.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a match,
full gear. Yeah.
I think that would be best suited for Double or Nothing. Okay. I think that feels like a very Double or Nothing coded match. I feel like any other pay-per-view for that, I mean, of course it's still going to sell and it's still going to be the highlight, but I feel like Double or Nothing would be the right environment to do it in if it's going to happen.
Okay. What were you going to say, Kim? Or not Kim,
Vicky.
I'm sorry if I spoke.
You know what we have talked about? No, I think we keep doing it to each other, but it's like only because we're excited to talk about wrestling and not like being rude. I think, you know, it's like, it's random and it's like not even that important, but I think we never talk about the wrestlers we don't really like or don't care to watch as much, or why we don't really enjoy watching as much or something. So I don't know if there's anyone in AEW that you're kind of like, meh. Except for CM Punk, like we'll just kind of move to the side. Like, is there any wrestlers that like when they come on, you're kind of like
fast forward?
Like, just like, I'm not really interested in watching you. Kind of like you're a snooze fest type of thing. And I don't even mean that like disrespectfully. It's just kind of like something about them just doesn't tickle your fancy. I don't know.
The only one that really comes to mind automatically for me is Nyla Rose. And I know that some people may find that problematic because of the representation and everything, but she is boring. She has always been boring. I am convinced she will always be boring. There's nothing intriguing about her to me.
No, you did not say Orange Cassidy is boring.
Oh, Alex.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
I love Orange Cassidy.
Who thinks Orange Cassidy is boring? My goodness.
I kind of agree about
I'm messing with you. You're entitled to your opinion.
I think they need to find something. When she had Vicky with her, I mean, Vicky at least.
It was a little something.
Excuse me.
It was a little salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I've never thought she was that, I don't know, that great either. So
I don't think she would be better as a babyface. I think she's one of those talents, unfortunately, that's just gonna be there to exist regardless of what they do with her. Yeah. She's just for some reason the way she comes off to me is that she doesn't, it almost seems like she doesn't care quite as much as the other talent does, if that makes sense.
So she's one that I have wondered if you put her in a tag team. I mean, I don't know who you'd pair her with, but maybe as a tag team competitor, she might be a little bit better.
That would be the best case scenario I could think of, because by herself, it's just not cutting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why she doesn't get TV time, ultimately, is because people don't really care one way or another about her being out there.
I agree with Henry. QT is terrible. Like, it's like, it does nothing for me. It's like a snooze fest. And don't get me wrong, the girl, I can't remember her name. She is
Cameron,
beautiful.
whatever.
She's a nice body. She's talented.
Harley Cameron.
Harley Cameron,
Yeah, but it's like, the whole thing's a fucking snooze fest. It just does nothing for me. I'm just like...
Marina Shafir is another one. It would make no difference if she was not with the company.
Right. I know. Just like... But the thing is, she's actually... That's Roddy's wife, too.
And she actually
Roderick
has...
Strong, yeah, that's his wife.
Yeah. And John Moxley was a huge promoter of hers, like of Marina Shafir. Mm-hmm. So she's another one I think that maybe if you paired her with someone and made her, I mean, if you look at Julia Hart, when she was with the cheerleader thing, I could have given a crap less.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love her in House of Black.
She was made for House of Black.
Yes. Her theme music is amazing. It's
so good.
It's just
you
awesome.
can just see the different, like, she is passionate in House of Black. I love her.
It did wonders for her career, like, and it made her more badass too. And it's like, I just love it. Like, just when she comes out, like, it just, the whole crowd loves it. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
My fiance did say Shafir and Blackpool Combat Club. I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't either.
That's what I said about Jamie Hayter.
They need a girl. They need to find a woman.
And Shafir is she's a badass. She
is. Yeah. She's just a little bland.
Right. But I think if you teamed her up with Mox, yeah. Okay. Whoever, Alex that said the Young Bucks, no. Alex, you're banned.
You're going to throw hands.
You are going to get your fucking head kicked in!
Exactly.
Real quick, Henry, I'm not gonna yell at you. Serena Deeb is boring and she feels like she deserves something because she's a veteran in the business. You're boring. You're bland. You're not good on the mic.
No
wonder people don't really pay attention. Yeah. She did that whole Professor series where she just had all those squash matches, and that was one of the most boring things that the company did.
Fast forward. Yeah,
Don't you talk about my Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Super kick party, baby.
Clint, you're banned. Yeah. I can't believe we've been on here for almost 3 hours. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh.
Flew by. That's insane. It like flew by.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Kim, Tyler says Deeb is great.
I know, and honestly, I feel
she's
like
great in the
had
ring.
A conversation of, so she's good, technically speaking. She can wrestle. She knows her moves. She's good in the ring, but to me, if you're boring outside of the ring and everything else you do, that's going to knock your ring work down a little bit for me. It's going to make it not as enticing to watch and see what you do.
And I'm going to be a total girl here. Her pants do not fit right.
No, they don't.
I hate that. They have a butt sag. I don't get it.
You know what's funny? She was less boring when she first came here.
Yes.
And grew more boring. Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and now she's like nowhere to be found.
Jamie Hayter is part of the BCC.
I would.
No, that's what
I would like
said.
That.
She's a hard hitter. I said that from the get-go, that she would be a perfect fit because she's a beast. You know?
I mean, I think they should have been preparing, like, for her to turn on Britt anyway. Like they needed to, because she can stand on her own. I don't know. Jamie Hayter with BCC would be good too.
Serena with a manager, I'll be honest, I don't see Serena ever being put with a manager just because she is a veteran and she's one of the older women in their division. I think it would just be counterintuitive. Now, turn around and make her a manager, I think that could maybe be something.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the ones that run the women's division, like helps out with the women's division backstage.
Right.
And stuff.
So give her something like that. I think because she knows her stuff. She's good at what she does. It's just her own personality to me is what is lacking.
Right.
Yeah, like she doesn't have, like, MJF has those facial expressions. Like when she talks, it's just like
stoic.
And
like she's just, it almost seems like it's taking time out of her day for her to like be there and have to talk anytime I've seen her
it's
talk.
Like, are you emotionally constipated? Do you need help? I'm just saying. Like,
well, and her saggy pants did not help.
It's like, it's like,
I will
Sandra?
agree
She
with
needs
Bob's
to fix those.
comment that she does good up against tough opponents. I think she does better in that kind of a scenario. Like I said, in those professor squash matches, that was just not cutting it for me. But put her against someone that's going to be an actual challenge, you're probably going to get the best reaction from me that you will with her.
Yeah.
I feel like the last time we saw her is when like Saraya debuted, and other than that, I don't remember seeing her again.
It's been a long time. I feel like somebody's commented that she was hurt. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it hasn't hurt my feelings.
Why hasn't she showed up?
Hasn't hurt my feelings that she hasn't been there.
Ooh, Telly, Women's Blood and Guts. Would it ever happen? Who would you like to see involved? That would be absolutely badass, and yes, it would get bloody. After the
was it
Blood and Guts,
Kai and Anna Jay and Penelope, and who wasn't there? Was 4 of them that had like a.
Was it Penelope and Bunny?
I think so.
It was Penelope, the Bunny, Anna Jay, Ty Conti. I feel like those 4 definitely. Britt Baker.
Yes.
I could see Thunder Rosa.
I mean,
I could see
the Britt and Thunder Rosa match that's infamously known for all of the blood. Yes, it would be bloody and violent. And I think if they do any kind of a separate show for the women, it needs to be a Women's Blood and Guts.
Yeah. Eventually, I feel like it's just like the women's like battle royal. Like it just needs to happen. Like certain female wrestlers though, I just don't feel like should be in it. Like, you know, like certain ones just like you just can't put in it. You know what I mean? Obviously, definitely like Jamie Hayter. Like you can't put Sky Blue in there, and you can't put you can't put Willow. Like it's just like or Rhea,
I would see Willow before I see Sky. You know? I think Willow could hold her own. I know that she's super bubbly and her personality is energetic and funny and sweet and everything, but I wouldn't mind to see them try to turn her heel at some point. I feel like maybe if she gets like scorned enough, like depending upon how she goes about eventually losing the strong title, based on what happens with that, I wouldn't mind to see them try that with her. Just because of the stark difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the one where Anna Jay accidentally went a little too far past the table, and it's like, whoops.
Yeah,
she got hurt on that one.
That was rough.
Yeah, you see it like, like whoopsie, you know.
Willow did do good in her street fight. Yeah, I liked
her and Ruby versus TJ. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's what TJ, they need to come back. They need after she has the baby.
Yes.
Her and Anna Jay need to be a tag team.
Yes.
I agree.
I am all in for a women's tag team division. That's all I want.
Okay. David has, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to throw one of the grenades for fans online. Enough is enough with using Britt in completely meaningless ways. Her stepping back and staying in the shadows. It sounds and feels like she's done it just to get locker room heat off of her. Enough of that. Jealousy will always be in that business. I think Britt just needs to go and do what Britt wants to do. If she wants to go and crush and dominate and take that title back, do that. If she wants to go and crush and dominate and not go for the title, do it. I mean, she is the pillar of the women's division. There's no other two ways about it. For anyone to try to start any kind of heat with Britt, you're automatically in the wrong.
Exactly. She is the women's division.
Yes.
Britt is the shit, you know.
She is the OG.
She is a DMD
she will
and
always
a wrestler.
be.
All right, she is a badass.
Yes.
You know.
Let's see here. Britt versus Jade. I honestly just don't really know if I care if Jade comes back or not. She ran forever as a champion, of course, but her run was a little boring. It got a little bit too lengthy there at the end. Which I know, of course, that's partially due to the fact that Chris was supposed to take the title off of her and then she got injured. And I appreciate them not wanting to change those plans, but it got a little bit just boring.
That was only because they were waiting for Chris the whole time.
Because she went through literally every woman that she had to go through.
Yeah.
Not every woman. They didn't put the main players in front of her. Like the big ones, the top dogs. You know?
Oh, Eddie Kingston.
Oh, I love Eddie.
I do love Eddie.
He's
like real. He speaks his mind. Doesn't give a shit.
I would love to see
Those are my
Eddie
people.
with a title.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it with as much as he's been through.
Didn't he just win one like overseas from Japan or something?
Strong champ? I think it's a strong champ.
Doesn't he have?
He did win a Japan title, but I don't know what it is, babe.
I think it's a strong champ.
You know what the title was?
Danielson versus Omega. I don't think Danielson's going to be back for All In.
Strong open weight champion.
Okay.
Yeah,
no.
I don't think he'll be
He
back.
needs that arm to heal.
Yeah. And we want him to come back 100% because, I mean, him wrestling with the broken arm was great. But, yeah, I mean, I want to see Danielson and Omega at some point, but let's have him 100% when it happens.
And the thing is that regardless of when the match happens, that is going to be an A+ match through and through. There, no doubt about it that will be the best match on whatever show it falls on.
Yeah.
So give the man some time to heal up and be ready for it so that it can be the best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we're all like kind of blanking, like
he is currently New Japan strong open weight champion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, babe.
Eddie is,
Christian. Henry asked about Christian.
Oh.
I despise Christian.
But he's
the delusional
so
champ.
Good.
He's amazing at what he is doing. He is doing it spotless. But it's so slimy and icky. It's that same vibe as Don Callis. I don't want any part of it. And I can't wait for Luchasaurus to lose his cool on him.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to see Darby win that title because he was a fighting champ.
Yes.
He put honor back on that TNT belt and he defended against everyone. And I loved Darby as the TNT champion. And he would really like put clout back on that belt. And I hope Dagati wins because I loved Darby as the TNT champion. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure y'all will probably agree that for each championship, there is the one person who's had it in the past that it is their title. The TNT is Darby's. The tag team titles are the Bucks. The women's title is Brit. The world championship is Omega's.
Yes.
All of those are pretty set in stone.
I love this girl.
Yep.
I love this girl.
I agree.
Absolutely. Agree with everything you just said, honey.
Yeah, Kenny should have that title.
Yeah.
But I mean, he doesn't.
Yes, I'm filing my nails.
But yeah, Kenny is he's the champ. He is amazing. I don't know.
Yes. He was my favorite AEW champ. Not just because I love Kenny, but because I love Kenny. No, because he was great. And let me tell you, they were all great because they all brought something different to that belt, and they all have different styles, and I loved them all.
Yeah.
But Kenny,
yes,
the belt collector, greedy bastard, I love you.
Yeah.
You had all them belts.
Joseph mentioned the
Running into
TNT
impact of the belts.
is Brody Lee's. And I rest in peace. I love Brody Lee, and yeah, I mean the TNT was his. He was a great TNT champ.
Yeah.
Oh, Kazuchika Okada and Danielson Part 2. I would be absolutely down for that.
I really thought he was going to win the first time. I didn't think it was going to be Danielson, and it's not because Danielson's not great, because he is. Like, you know, he is amazing. But I was thinking it was going to be Okada, but
yeah,
I'm not mad that it was Danielson because he's amazing.
Would you ever want to
with a broken arm?
Bucks do a singles run?
No. There's no need for it.
No,
they can't do it without each other because they just fit so well. Plus, not only are they brothers, but they're like best friends, and they do everything together, and it just works.
Yeah,
it works. I mean, if you watch the Swerve City podcast about them talking about it, I mean, they've just been together for so long. It just doesn't make sense for them to do singles.
No.
So Tyler just said Okada versus Omega versus Danielson. That would be wild and bloody.
I love it.
There would be blood.
Forbidden Door next year?
I did see someone Alex had mentioned, kind of thinking we would see a WWE and AEW thing in the next year or so. I
just don't think it's going to happen.
Don't taint it.
Hear me out.
Yes.
Me and Tyler recently watched the new Cody Rhodes documentary that's on Peacock. Yes. That is the most that AEW has been referenced, mentioned. That's the first time that the company in any capacity has said their name in any product of theirs.
Except Triple H made the comment that pissed me off. Secondary company. Yes. I wanted to throat punch him.
But I was meaning that's the first time they've named them in their company at all. That's the first time they've acknowledged them for who they are.
True.
So I feel like, which I mean, I know of course that could just be happening because of Cody's ties with the Bucks, because they're still close friends and everything. Yes. But I wouldn't be surprised if the walls are kind of breaking down some, because I'm sure TK wouldn't mind to do it. Business is business ultimately, and WWE makes the money that they make. It's going to boil down to whoever at the time is running the other company.
Yeah.
But I think if it's done right,
I agree, Gary.
It can be done right.
Yeah.
But I feel like the chances of it being done right are slim.
I just don't. I agree with Gary. I just don't see
oil and vinegar don't mix.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Gary, I think you should probably hop on with this one. Not that, like, you know, I love talking and I think we've done such a great job, but like I feel like you should join our mix now, you know, and give your opinion on some stuff now. You can be our
3
fourth
hours
girl.
in.
Yeah. Be our fourth girl, you know.
That's fucking bullshit.
You fucking prick.
Okay, what do you want?
I'm tired of your shit. I'm getting real fucking sick of your shit. All right? You and I are going to have a private talk later. I'm real. All right? Get it together. Well, I feel like, you know, we've done 3 hours to wrap it up. So, you know, we'll save some flavor for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say this was a huge success. all around the table, no pun intended. So you wanted to discuss something, or were you just wanting to wrap up the show? Didn't know.
Take your pick. I don't care.
I say let's go ahead and start wrapping up. That way
Yeah.
we have more to talk about with the next one, and the
Yeah.
pay-per-view will have happened by then. So
Yeah.
the next one will be long too, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure, because we'll have
All In and All Out would have happened
I was
already.
gonna say we'll have 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
After the next one.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Thanks, Henry. Clint, we won't ban you. Everybody can have their opinion.
Yep.
Even if it's
Stop
wrong.
shitting on everything.
One thing I will say, this comment here. Sorry, Alex, but I don't know if it's been a while since you followed up with WWE, but Stephanie's no longer working there.
Yeah.
So,
Can you blame her?
She's been out for a while.
It's her dad's stash. She don't like it. I don't blame her.
Yeah. Who does?
And the only thing that I'm going to say about something ever happening with, our forbidden door between WWE and AEW, like I said in my comment, I don't think it's going to happen, because you got Endeavor taking over WWE next month. So you're going to see a lot of changes with them. And I stand by what I said in the comment. Like, WWE will never give AEW the light of day. Sure, they said their name, on a documentary, so I don't know.
And you couldn't do a documentary about Cody without saying it. I mean, he did help create AEW.
I was expecting them to have it completely cut out of the documentary, to be honest. Because in previous times talking about Cody and his history on the commentary table, they have conveniently glazed over those years of his life.
Yeah, like while he was gone.
Yeah.
So I agree.
I mean, I will end that topic with saying, come on now, WWE is so petty. They did not even feature Samoa Joe on their Twisted Metal trailer.
Yeah.
So what makes me believe anything will ever happen? And like it or not, people that don't like AEW, like it or not, WWE is threatened by AEW in so many ways. So many damn ways.
Absolutely.
Because they haven't had any real competition since WCW.
Exactly.
See, good point.
That's right.
But I will just go by with these last few comments.
Thank you, Tyler. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We appreciate all of you guys for tuning in and listening and all your comments and questions. Like, it's really meant a lot to us for you guys even listening to us.
Yeah, exactly.
For 3 hours.
I feel real valued, and I've really enjoyed talking to you ladies and just the
Me
fact that
too.
you listen to all my nonsense.
Yes.
Thank you for tolerating me.
Well, I'm glad that you could tolerate with my bullshit, but cool. That's why I figured I would get some of the features with
You'll
this.
find out later.
I do have one other thing about the Forbidden Door being. I mean, it's perfect how it is. Why kind of mess with it?
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
If it's not broke, don't fix
You ain't
it.
wrong.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about AEW. They never really have to break anything. They just do what they do. So
Yep.
Right.
And you can't go wrong with the Bucks.
That is true.
Nothing goes wrong with the Bucks. That's our babies. Those are my babies. I love my Bucks. Ask Gary. He knows how much I love my Bucks. Those are my babies.
you got an obsession. Okay, if you would get a hair follicle, you will turn them into clones. But okay.
Excuse you? Scat baby. We won't even go there. Okay.
Henry said, "What time is it? It's smelling time."
You're all jealous because you didn't get to smell anyway.
Yep.
Yep.
I wasn't going to even say anything, but Gary had to put my ass on blast. Right? Dick.
Gary did put you on blast.
Yeah.
I ain't telling you shit anymore, Gary. I ain't telling you shit. Nothing's sacred.
Shut up, Brandon.
You know what?
So
We gonna talk later.
with that said, I just wanted to show everybody something really quick before we hop off here, and it's my appreciation to not everybody that has really tuned in here. Over 1,000 views, amazing. So I'm sure the ladies appreciate it.
We do.
Definitely.
Yes.
And I would like to see everybody. Sorry, not see everybody. I would like to show everybody how much I appreciate these ladies as well.
Hey, I just wanted to say I appreciate you, Gary Joe, for creating Honor the Elite, an elite space for AEW fans to go and talk about their love of AEW. And they don't have to fear being attacked or bullied. You make it a positive place. And I appreciate that so much. It's one of my favorite things about the page. And thank you.
Hey guys, it's your girl Elyse, aka WarMama, and what I appreciate about Gary Joe and the Honor of the Elite page is that it is a safe space for us all elite wrestling fans to talk, discuss, and just share our opinion without having to deal with all the bashing and the bullying and all the negativity that comes with being a wrestling fan, especially as a woman. The one time some person came at me on a comment that I made, Gary Joe clicked in right away, blocked him, banned him, and I didn't have to worry about having to defend myself over having such a simple opinion. But Gary Joe, I appreciate you for creating a safe space for us women, for us fans, just for everything that you've done. I feel seen, I feel heard, and I appreciate you more than you can know.
So one thing I appreciate about Gary Joe is how he goes out of his way to make sure that everyone feels welcome and safe and included within the page. He has no problem kicking people out if they are being bullies or changing rules or how posts are made, if it could possibly make someone feel like they are left out or if something bothers someone. Another thing that I really just appreciate about the page as a whole is how everything is current and up to date, and there are some of the quickest updates that you will find within the wrestling community on this page. Definitely before, during, after any shows that we're watching, I will check the page and see if there's anything else going on the side that is not necessarily being shown on the TV.
Hey Gary Joe, it is your girl, Vixen Omega. Obviously what I appreciate about you is how much you care about the fans and look out for them, and how you put them first, and how you're always thinking about them and their safety, and how you don't let anybody bully them. And, I appreciate how much, you're kind to them. And what I love the most about Honor the Elite is that how it is a safe haven for AEW fans to be able to come on the page, a place of positivity, and know that they're not going to be bullied and they're not going to be chastised for having an opinion, and it's a place where they can truly enjoy AEW and just love the wrestling and not have to worry about certain other organization fans attacking them. So that is what I love and appreciate about you and Honor the Elite.
Figured I would share everybody the heartfelt messages from these four. Fuck, it played with my emotions because I remember just saving them, not fully hearing them. So, I know I'm a boohoo sap, okay. But from me, Gary Joe, from the bottom of my heart, I thank everybody that has been very supportive of the page. But the number one goal that I wanted to do was give back to the women. The voice, they are definitely the voiceless when it comes to wrestling, like it or not. So, but Again, I'm Gary Joe. You can find me here, of course, Spotify, now Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. Unbelievable. But enough about me. We're going to have a sign off for somebody very special. And that will do it for us.
Goodbye. Mwah. And good night. Bang!